gauge, a snip, and all the essential pliers you will need. All of this is yours for just $15.95, neatly presented in a carrying case with an embossed Jewellery Maker logo. Stay tuned for more advice, tutorials and demonstrations of jewellery making. We provide the tools, you provide the skill.
Welcome to the late show here on Jewellery Maker. My name's Ed. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're going to make it worth your while because we are joined by the wonderfully talented Mark Smith. How are you, Mark? You alright?
I'm really good, actually.
Men behaving badly.
That's not what they're calling it, is it?
That's what I'm calling it.
No, really good, really good. Just come back from a week in Yorkshire.
Yes.
Best time ever, and so battery's fully charged. I haven't been in the building for 2 weeks.
It must be like the first time for about 2 years that that's happened, is that right? A bit nervous?
Yes, it's bizarre.
Oh no, you've got nothing to be nervous about, Mark. I know how innovative your designs are. And we've actually set the audience a bit of a challenge because on Thursday we sold a strand of sapphire nuggets, and we are going to see a little bit of inspiration this evening because we've handed a strand of it over to Mark. So we'll come over to you about 8:30, Mark, and find out what you...
I'm still a bit confused of the price of this.
I know, yes. Sapphires for under £10, in fact as low as $6.95 I think they were launched. Now if you weren't tuned in on Thursday and thinking, what am I supposed to do? Don't panic, we still have some stock remaining, so we'll give you an opportunity to buy that strand later this evening around about 8:30 when we take a look at Mark's designs. And on top of that, we're going to honour the launch price. So you'll be able to get sapphires this evening for $6.95. Can't say fairer than that. And actually, we've got loads of goodies in tonight's show. Have a look at this Labradorite. This is going to come about the halfway mark of the show, so about 7 PM. Bezel set Labradorite, set into silver, and the Labrador essence is gorgeous. Quite interesting because you seem to have different colours on each gemstone. If we have a look at this one, we've got sort of sky blues and lime greens coming through. And on the next one, lots of golden tones. There's one as well that's got loads of purple Labrador essence on it. Here it is, have a look at this one. That's good, right?
Wow.
That's beautiful. So, lots of design scope, but with one strand there. You've got 7 individual gemstones, all bezel set into sterling silver. That's the way to really elevate your designs onto that next level. So, also coming up as our superstar bar at the end of the show, this beautiful garnet. And the colour is phenomenal. Got those sort of pomegranate-like tones coming through.
Is this the one that you and Liam were looking at upstairs?
This is it. This is the one we were getting excited about. Faceted top drilled drops, so very easy to incorporate into your designs. And that gorgeous red and purple hue there. It's almost like a red wine tone really, isn't it? It'll make anybody thirsty this time of the day, but that's the kind of colour tone you've got there. And then these are the sapphires that we've just been talking about. Just $6.95, as I say. Originally launched last week, but this evening we'll give everybody who invested in the strand a little bit of inspiration because Mark's going to create some lovely design. Look at that. Can't believe the price point. One of the big 4, and we've launched it at $6.95, which we are going to honour this evening. Now, without further ado, I think it's time that we get a little deal for everybody. So this is going to be an add it to your order opportunity. The price point is ridiculous, especially when you see the quality of these bags. So you've got lots of your sort of golden or daffodil yellow organza bags there. And yeah, you've got 10 in total. So 10 of your golden organza bags. And then have a look at these. These are your velvet bags. Absolutely beautiful. So again, if you are selling your designs, this could be the way to, you know, set yourself apart from other designers, maybe at a certain crafting event, and, you know, just have a little more professionalism to your store. But also, if you're actually creating pieces of jewellery that you end up giving as gifts to loved ones, to friends, family members, it's a really beautiful way to display your item and show the attention to detail that you've put into the piece of jewellery itself. So perfect way to sort of create that professional finish even after you've made the piece of jewellery. So you get 10 of your black velvet bags, 10 of your royal blue, and 10 of this beautiful dark green, sort of emerald colour really. 30 velvet bags in total, and 10 of your golden organza bags as well. We only have a limited number available on this particular bundle. There wasn't a lot of stock available for this one, was there, Liam? Fewer than 40 chances to get involved with this sort of bag offer, if you like. It's a gift bag selection. So 30 velvet bags, 10 green, 10 blue, 10 black, and 10 of your organza bags. And Mark, I know you sell a lot of your designs, don't you? Or when you have time to actually do that. But is this the kind of item you would use to display?
Yeah, well, I mean, I always have a stash of these whenever we've got them on the show.
Right.
And whenever anyone buys any piece of my jewellery off my store, they automatically get a complimentary organza bag.
Right.
Whatever they buy, whether it's earrings, bracelets, or necklace. But if somebody wants to have something a bit special for a gift, then I buy a stash of these and normally sell them between 50p and £1.
Ah, right, okay, so it's an actually a bit of an upsell for you.
Yeah, so whenever you see these, my advice is to snap them up now, just to keep them, I know it's the C word, Christmas, it's only 6 months away. We're thinking about it already. So whenever you see something like this, we had them on a trade show deals. I mean, myriads of them in it, and it's one of the best deals ever. So whenever you see them, get them, just keep them in a stash somewhere, and then Christmas, November, December.
That's a great idea.
Absolutely.
So you've got 30 bags here.
Yep.
So 50p each.
Yeah, minimum.
That works out at what?
£15.
15 quid, yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
These are the kind of things you do have to take into consideration if you're trying to maybe move away from being a hobbyist and try to start a small business through jewellery making. As Mark rightly says, whenever you get the opportunity, stock up, and then you've always got them. Because actually, you make a great point, these green ones would be perfect for Christmas. In fact,
oh, yeah. Oh, look at that.
There you go, they're very festive now, isn't it? What's going on here? We haven't even got halfway through the year, we're already thinking about Christmas, but you do have to plan.
We do, oh absolutely, no, that's right.
You have to take these things into account, and as I say, we have fewer than 40 of this bundle available, so particularly for people who are selling their designs, this is the perfect way to really set yourself apart. Should be £18.35 if you were to buy them all individually on our website. That's not going to be your price point tonight. We're going to go under £10 for this particular item. £8.95, even lower than I was expecting when you said under £10. I thought you were going to say £9.95. £8.95. That is a fantastic opportunity. That really provides with lots of value. Well, we're saying we can make £15 off just the velvet bags, can't we? Yeah. And then you've got these in reserve. You know, if somebody buys one of your more affordable pieces, give them the organza bag perhaps, and then if somebody wants to really step it up a little bit, then you can always tag a little 50p charge on, Mark's saying. Or alternatively, as I say, maybe you're not selling your designs, maybe you've made something special for maybe your sister or your mum or your grandmother, something. When it comes in a beautiful velvet bag, it's going to show them just how much thought you put into their gift. £8.95 should be £18.35. Works out at under 23p per bag. That's pretty good.
Brilliant. That is good. That is really good. Oh, yeah, they are top quality bags as well.
Oh, they're fantastic,
they're really
aren't
thick.
they?
They've got a really good drawstring on them. Perfect.
I'll just show everybody the drawstring. That's okay, you can see. Really secure, beautiful velvet finish. It's a very, very elegant way to display your jewellery designs. Down to $8.95 as part of this bundle. This is the idea that we use here on Jewellery Maker. Try to provide you with wholesale opportunities. So we take these items from our website, we bundle them together to create a unique discount code. It will only be available for 60 minutes, I believe, this bundle. Brilliant. So Director Bruce is giving us a little bit of advice here. He said, don't do what I've said. Use the organic. He's saying use them seasonally. So use the gold ones in the spring, summer months. Use the green ones at Christmas. The blue ones in the winter. Is that what you were saying? So there you go. You can use the bags however you wish, of course. $8.95. Got lots of people multi-buying them. Fiona, you've got 3. Janice, you've got 2. Catherine, you've got 2. This is the perfect way to set yourself apart from other crafters out there and just show that you're working on a slightly higher level. That's the way I see it. Do you agree with that, Mark?
No, wholeheartedly. No, without doubt.
These are the kind of things that do set you apart, aren't they?
I mean, they're really good colours as well, because we always talk about blue being the #1 colour in this country,
of course,
isn't it? Favourite, and then green, as you keep saying, it's nature, it goes with everything.
Yeah.
And black as well also goes with everything. So you've got the
and black's that sort of iconic colour for putting elegant jewellery in a nice black bag. So there you go. All available for $8.95. Virtually a £10 saving there. Should be $18.35. But we had fewer than 40 available. In fact, just the multi-buyers have taken 10. So that only left us with 26 in stock. Lots and lots of people coming through now. We've even gone global on that deal. Thought Dan would be getting excited about that. Dan loves it when we go global.
Have we got global?
Yeah, Terry in New Mexico.
Woo!
There you go. Better value than you can get in New Mexico. $8.95. We're going to leave that there and we're going to move along. Have a look at this. This sky blue topaz. Wow. So it's a sort of icy blue here. Quite a subtle colour tone. But we've just been talking about the popularity of blue gemstones, particularly as people's first purchase of gemstone jewellery tends to be a blue gemstone. And the beautiful thing about working with a gemstone like topaz is that you can do your own price comparisons very easily because it's heavily used on the high street. Very, very popular gemstone. As a result, very well known. So again, if you are selling your jewellery designs, it could be that you're more likely to make a sale or to certainly attract interest in your jewellery designs if you're working with gemstones that people are aware of. Yes, there's a huge aesthetic property to jewellery, and if somebody likes the look of it, they're going to buy it no matter what gemstone it is. But if somebody's in two minds and then you say, well, this is topaz, it might just be that sort of affiliation they have with the gemstone that helps you to sell your designs. On top of that, these are faceted rondelles, so again, easy to work with, and despite the fact that you've got those sort of subtle icy blue tones, you're still going to get plenty of sparkle off this particular gemstone because of the way it's been faceted. Do you find that you know, popular gemstones or well-known gemstones tend to sell more, Mark?
We had this discussion on the morning show a few weeks ago.
Oh, right, okay.
That I've met more people born in October and November than any other month.
Really?
And I don't know what that's. There's cold winters.
People just look, oh, I see. Well, what happens 9 months earlier? That's what I always think.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's lots of birthdays in like June, around that time. I always attribute that to people seeing small children going to school and getting broody.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a bit tenuous, but you know what I mean? I always think, oh, why is everybody born in June?
That's true. And 2 years ago, we didn't have topaz.
No.
You know, and that was one of the months that I would miss out on sales from.
Because birthstone jewellery sells
we've got citrine, but topaz I think is the most popular of the November birthstones.
Absolutely.
So no, that's really nice actually. I'm a massive fan of Amazonite. It would just go so well.
Finally go together because of the subtle colour tones. You've got the pastel shade from the Amazonite and then the icy blues from this topaz. It is absolutely gorgeous. Very uniform size actually as well. There are slight irregularities, but for the most part, they're very similar dimensions across the strand. They range from 5x2 to 6x4. So as I say, very subtle variation in size there as well. 40 carats in total of blue topaz here. And as Mark rightly says, this is November's birthstone. And it may not be that you're actually selling those designs in that month, but of course people have that association with their birthstone, don't they? Even if people don't have a real depth of knowledge about gemstone jewellery, they normally know what their birthstone is. So that's another way that you can maybe win people over with your jewellery designs. If you're working with a gemstone that they're aware of and that they feel associated with. There you go, producer Liam's saying that the owner of the company, Mr. Steve Bennett, at Christmas gave him a gift of a pen and it had his birthstone set into it and he was well chuffed. What's your birthstone then, Liam? Garnet. Oh right, of course your birthday's in January. There we go. What's your birthday, Mark?
Amethyst.
Amethyst. So you're a February baby. There you go. 40 carats of November's birthstone here. Gorgeous sky blue topaz. And the price point, again, is totally ridiculous. $9.95. Under £10 for 40 carats of topaz. That's pretty impressive, really. $9.95. This is one of those strands that I was thinking was going to be probably more part of the Gems of Distinction range, up at the $29.95 price point. Particularly because you've got that consistency of colour there. Gorgeous sky blue across each and every gemstone, faceted to perfection to really enhance Mother Nature's hard work there. And all for under £10. So this could be a real profit maker if you are selling your jewellery designs. I know that, Matt, you're a real advocate of
I'm just working it out now. If I use sterling silver findings, 6 of those stones would pay for that strand in a pair of earrings.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that many gemstones is going to make you money back.
Just rosary chain link or a little silver spacer beads in between. £10 pair. I mean, £10 topaz earrings. I mean, that's
you're already much more competitive than the high street, for example, aren't you? And you're offering somebody a bespoke piece of jewellery, one of a kind, unlike these sort of mass-produced items that you're going to find on the high street.
Absolutely.
So there you go, serious value here, and the value that we offer you here at Jewellery Maker allows you to be very competitive. My earpiece is playing up this evening. It won't stay in my ear. Don't know, it's trying to get away. $9.95 for Sky Blue Topaz. If you do want to get involved with that deal, you know what to do. Just dial that free phone number or click to find out at jewellerymaker.com. However, I have to tell you, this is proving to be very, very popular. So if you do place it in your basket at jewellerymaker.com, make sure you check out to avoid disappointment. Blue Topaz available for under £10. And as Mark is already starting to inform us, these are the kind of gemstones that will allow you to potentially create some very profitable jewellery designs. But maybe you just love topaz. You know, like we're saying, it's very popular, heavily used in the high street. It's a birthstone. Maybe if you are creating beautiful jewellery designs for yourself, this is one to get in your collection. The other thing about it is very neutral colour. So
it's very got an aquamarine look to it.
Yes.
And that with amethyst, actually, we were talking about purples
that's
earlier.
a fantastic combination.
Purple with that would just be outstanding. I know what you're going to do.
I was thinking about the sapphires because the two different blue tones work together as well. You've got the midnight blue and the sky blue. Oh yeah.
And the garnet actually. I'm just thinking the garnet would look stunning with it.
Then, if you put it with the garnet, you start to pick out the purple hues in the garnet, wouldn't you? That's a fantastic combination.
Beautiful.
And I can just tell everybody, all three of these strands are going to be available for under £10 tonight. The garnet's going to be launched at under £10. And the sapphires, we already know the price, launched at £6.95. Right now, you can add topaz to that little collection for just £9.95. We're going to move on. We've got lots to get through this evening. Ooh, and we just had a long conversation upstairs about this particular gemstone, didn't we, Mark? Beautiful agate.
Yes, we did. We did.
So it's a designer gemstone, basically. It's one for the designers. People tend to like the variety that you get of agate. It's quite easy to work with because it's very dense, and so you don't have to be too concerned about it scratching or. Well, the other thing is, as a result of its sort of availability, if you like, we can offer you much larger carat weights. So the gemstone itself tends to be of a larger size. These are 25 by 18 mil in size, giving you well over 300 carats. And I think this tends to be a very popular variety of agate.
That's just absolutely stunning. Last year, one of my most well-received craft fairs, I did an agate-only stall for a day, just to give it a go, because I'm a massive fan of agate. And Lucy and I were discussing it, and she said, "Why don't you just have an agate stall?" And obviously, then the prices aren't so expensive.
So then all of a sudden
it was fantastic, and you can agates in every single colour of the spectrum, can't you?
Absolutely. I mean, you've got a real variation on this strand alone. Haven't you?
Absolutely.
Those mustard tones in one gemstone, and then you've got these sort of storm cloud greys.
They're faceted as well, are they?
Faceted as well.
Yeah.
They have quite an opaque finish to them, don't they? So as a result, in slightly lower lighting conditions, other than our studio, you'd really be able to appreciate that faceting.
That's a good strand actually, because I can see doubles of most of those colours. So if you're going down the earring route with those, it would be absolutely perfect, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, the most sort of strange colour tone you've got there is this golden tone, but you've got two of them.
Yeah,
like Mark
that's
said,
beautiful.
The other thing about agate, which I think tends to make it very popular, is the banding. So again, you've got that unique edge to every single piece of every item of jewellery that you actually make. You know it's going to be individual because the banding is going to be different on each gemstone. I love this, quite neutral as well, isn't it, the Botswana agate? You can get some really funky colours of agate, but these are completely natural. Tends to be popular with people that like to work with earthy colours. I know that, for example, Debbie Bulford, we all know that she goes down that route with her colour tones. She loves Botswana agate. It's just one of those gemstones, as I say, it's quite neutral. It's going to go with basically everything. And I know that when people are working on, bespoke jewellery designs with genuine gemstones, lots of different designs tend to be inspired by nature or certainly have an earthy feel to them. And so this is very in keeping with the whole theme of handmade jewellery, I think. Over 300 carats of Botswana agate here, faceted to perfection. They're probably large enough to be used as pendants, would you say, Mark?
They make amazing rings. That's what I'm thinking.
Rings.
Yeah.
So wire work or macrame, work them into the design. And then, of course, once again, we are maximising on the profit we can make, because you only need one gemstone to make a huge statement.
I think that one on the end is just absolutely beautiful.
This one?
No, the other end.
Oh, this end?
Yeah.
You're right.
I just adore that.
Look at that.
Look at that look.
That's gorgeous.
I keep using this line all the time, and it's such a cliche, but you just can't respect Mother Nature enough, can you? It's just
absolutely
incredible. That's just amazing stuff.
You think about, everything the gemstone's been through to, come to fruition. But then, having said that, we've sort of taken it one step further, haven't we? By faceting the surface of a gemstone, you get a little play of light, but you also get texture, I think, with these sort of checkerboard facets, because the gemstone's quite large,
yes,
it does make a bit of a difference to the overall look that you're going to be able to create. Fantastic. Okay, let's get the price on screen because we only have a limited number. $10.95. I mean, if you did use just one of these to create a gorgeous ring design, I assume you'd be looking at a £5 to £10 price point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go. You could maybe make your money back off one or maybe two gemstones here. I'll do a quick count. It will be an approximation, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So you can make 8 pairs of earrings even. So they're going to definitely be at least £5 a pair for earrings. There you go. You make your money back. Well, you make profit off just 4 gemstones. Oh, we've had a question for you, Mark.
For me?
Yes. It's Emily, a regular viewer and contributor to us here on The Late Show. I know the answer to this question, Emily. She wants to get started with the art of macrame. So where should she start? Book yourself on Mark's workshop. That's where you should start with a new discipline, surely. That's
a good idea, actually. And because I do run 2 workshops now, macrame and intermediate.
Okay.
And I tend to do one every month, alternating between the two.
Right.
And June
it's the beginner one.
The beginner macrame.
There you go, Emily. Dial that free phone number right now. And he goes, I'm not joking, I'm being serious. The workshops are an amazing place to start. Even our producer, Liam, went on the silver clay workshop around Christmas time and relied on.
But if Emily lives too far away, then
she lives in the West Midlands. Emily does.
Oh, does she?
She lives down the road.
Well, that's no excuse then, is
so
it?
She's got no excuse to come out. However, the other place you could start is Mark's DVD.
Well, I would go for Debbie's first.
Oh, okay.
Debbie Bolford's Macrame and Knotting DVD gives you the complete basics right from scratch.
Okay.
My first DVD, there are 2 new techniques, but it's just basically a recap of what Debbie does, but using different materials.
So
we
you
use
need the
wire
building
and
blocks.
satin. Absolutely. So Debbie's would be the perfect place to start, and then move up the ladder.
Oh, well, you know that's good advice because he's not just saying buy my DVD. So
that's how I learn. That's how I learn.
Of course, yes. Yeah, so you got the DVD and learnt the skill from that.
Yeah.
There you go. Hopefully that's answered your question. Alternatively, I mean, if somebody's thinking, no, I'll be able to do it, but what cord should I buy? What can you do it with?
Best thing to do is one of our macrame boards, whether the small or the large one, and a pack of hemp. Don't even worry about beads to start with. Just a pack of our hemp and a macrame board. That's all you need. No other tools.
Okay. That's probably why the discipline's become so popular, isn't it? Because you can just get 2 items and you're up and running.
And I think it's probably 5 or 6 knots, but it's just depending on how you use them and what materials you use to incorporate the gemstones. But I mean, there's millions of different combinations of these knots, and some of the work I've seen on Facebook recently has just been
it's exquisite, isn't it? Yeah,
amazing.
I'm really impressed by the skill level of all of our audience members. Don't forget, if you tag me into your designs, you could win Design of the Week. So that's what I've asked everyone to do, because it gives me an idea of
what's Design of the Week then.
So the idea is that when you post your made-up jewellery designs on Facebook, tag me into it, and then I get tagged into lots of different designs, and if something takes my fancy and impresses me, then I'll send somebody. Well, first of all, I'll display their design on air, and then I'll send them something.
I see. That's nice.
That's quite good, right? Yeah. Okay, it's time for our first star buy of the evening, am I right? Let's do it. Star buy time. Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. Now it's time for our first star buy. We're going to probably have a star buy every 30 minutes or so on the show, and it's our opportunity to either launch one of our premier strands, like the Labradorite or the Garnet that we have coming up later in the show. Alternatively, we may create a wholesale opportunity, a discount bundle, as I was explaining earlier in the show, where we take a selection of our gemstones, bundle them together to create a saving for you. So it gives you the opportunity to increase your gemstone stash, if you like, or your collection of gemstones, and also to make a saving on the very popular gemstones that we stock here at Jewellery Maker. This is called Ocean Mist. And again, we've gone for some very high-end looking gemstones here. These are your clear quartz. You've got 90 carats in total, but these are faceted saucers. So they are going to provide you with so much sparkle. It's going to be totally ridiculous. I think lots of times when we think about working with clear quartz, we tend to go down very classic routes, if you like. So bridal jewellery tends to rely heavily on clear quartz. But actually, when you think about it, it goes with anything. That's the beauty of clear quartz. And when you've got your faceted saucers, it's quite interesting, again, because you've got that dynamic edge, because you've got that facet on the outer extremity of the gemstone. Give you lots of sparkle. These are good because they almost interlock, don't they? The actual, what's it called? A saucer, that's it. They're sort of, I describe them as a mixture between a rondelle and a bicone. They're somewhere in between those two shapes. Do you concur with that?
I like that.
Yeah? Because I know that bicones are very popular because you get a little bit of sparkle, but they're quite easy to work with. Is that right in saying? They're similar to rounds. It's
for a kit coming up actually on the day show, and it was a strand very similar to this. And what I've done is I've laid them flat in a row. Okay, rather than butting up against each other, I've laid them flat.
Okay.
And I've the ladder weave.
Yep.
So you get them in a nice flat row. So it looks very reminiscent of a bicycle chain. And then what I've done, I've used seed beads, and I've threaded on about 4 foot of seed beads, and I've used that as a working strand to do macrame.
Right,
and what you find is the seed beads sit nicely underneath the bottom ridge of the gemstone and lift it proud, and it's the most stunning effect I've ever seen. It's beautiful.
That's a great idea. So really nice. This is the interesting thing about being a jewellery designer, is that you can think outside the box, you can take it in any direction you see fit, and really, I suppose, experimentation is the key.
I'd buy this bundle just for that strand.
Really?
I love it. I'm a massive fan of clear quartz.
Yeah,
that's
I think
beautiful.
It's so popular.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because in the sort of usual jewellers world, if you like, the master jewellers might shy away from something like clear quartz, and they predominantly rely on, say, diamonds as an accent gemstone, don't they? But seriously underrated clear quartz, isn't it? Because you're getting the same effect, but much more affordable price. I mean, and also, if you were trying to find this kind of carat weight of diamonds, can you imagine how much it would cost you for 90 carats of diamonds faceted in this way? You know, that this kind of carat weight on each gemstone. Well, it would just make you, it wouldn't be a hobby anymore, would it? Because that would just drive your prices up way too much. So I think clear quartz is the perfect substitute for that, but people tend to love it. And also the other key thing about clear quartz is that you're not going to find half the inclusions that you would in a diamond. Absolutely phenomenal. This is not all you get in the bundle, because look at this. It's a good combination, this, actually, Liam. Like this. Just been talking about the idea of working with the blue gemstones and how people tend to favour them. And this is a gorgeous combination. This is actually called intense blue howlite. So they've even accounted for the kind of colour tone you get within the classification of this gemstone, intense blue howlite. And it is a very prominent colour tone. It's almost a sort of electric blue, if you like. It's got a slight neon tone to it, hasn't it? It's very going to make a big impact on your designs, I would say. 95 carats of your blue howlite ovals. They're 10 by 8 mil in size. So again, quite a similar size variation. So they're definitely going to work together within your designs. And then have a look at this, just to bring it all together. And you do get a whole lot of gemstones on that strand. Gorgeous cream coral wheels. So that's good, actually, because once again, you've got a neutral colour tone, but because you've got the same opaque finish that you've got on the howlite, I think it really sort of brings the whole thing to life. Holds it all together, doesn't it? Gorgeous working with coral as well. Not easy for us to get hold of coral. Of course, we'll only ever bring you ethically sourced coral, but as a result of unethical sourcing, it does make it difficult for us to get on a regular basis because, of course, have to ensure that we are dealing with people who have sourced the coral in an ethical way. Basically, it has to wash up on the shore. Yeah. Otherwise, you're effectively destroying a living creature. It is a living organism, coral. And actually, it's interesting. Do you know what happens with a coral reef? It's Mother Nature, once again, putting everything in place to protect herself, really. It ends up becoming basically like a flood barrier. So it breaks down the ways that would erode away the coastline, and it'll basically calms all that down. That's what the coral reef does. So there you go. Mother Nature at her finest. Not only does it look beautiful, it also has a practical element to it when she's created a coral reef. I love these colours here, actually. The more I look at them, the more I'm getting a bit mystified by those gorgeous blues and whites. Actually, this is perfect for this time of year, isn't it? Because whenever I speak to one of our expert designers, they always tell me that every spring and summer, year on year, the nautical trends come back into fashion. And this has that feel to me, particularly because you've got coral, fruit of the ocean. Right then, let's get our price point on screen. We only have a limited number again, fewer than 40 of this bundle, I'm afraid, but it's just because it's so difficult to get hold of a gemstone like coral, so it limits the number we can create. Here comes your price point. It's a wholesale deal this evening. Wow, $14.95, less than £5 a strand. I mean, how much would you expect to pay for faceted clear quartz of this carat weight? You've got 90 carats in total. How much would you expect to normally pay for this strand alone? So $11.95, $9.95? You wouldn't be shocked by that price point, would you?
No, not at all. No.
But to get it for under £5, absolutely incredible value. That's the way to do it here at Jewellery Maker. Take advantage of these wholesale deals, get these into your collection, and they're going to allow you, well, A, to create lots of designs because you've got lots of gemstones, but also becomes more and more profitable if you are selling your jewellery designs. There you go. In fact, I was right. It is $9.95. Any other day, you'd pay $9.95 for this clear quartz. As part of this bundle, you can get it for less than £5, and you get some very complimentary strands into the bargain. I mean, the coral. How much would you normally pay for this coral? And it's a huge strand. Let me just show you. A lot of gemstones. This must be close to $9.95 as well normally. Oh, actually, sometimes I'm shocked by the value we can bring you on a day-to-day basis. $5.95 for the coral wheels normally, but we're already up to the price point then. In fact, we've already surpassed the price point long before we get to the howlite. 3 strands at under £5 per strand. Howlite, coral, and clear quartz. Beautiful combination. Okay, we're going to leave that one with you. We're going to move on because we've got a lot to fit in before our next star buy, which is coming up in about 15 minutes time, and that will be, it's these ones, isn't it? Yes, these 3 strands of, again, it's the sort of rondelle type shapes, saucers or wheels. Here we go. This is coming up in 15 minutes time. Another nice combination of colours there. Like this. I'm seeing evening jewellery with this particular bundle, but I'm sure Mark will have a few creative ideas up his sleeve as well. Okay, where are we going on to then? Oh, wow.
In a box?
In a box, because probably one of the most sought after gemstones on the planet. Gemstone that has rocketed up in terms of its price point over the last 12 months, Colombian emerald.
This is one of your favourites, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I was excited just to see it on air because I read a report in the Financial Times, so quite reputable source here, only about, say, 6 weeks ago, saying that some Colombian emerald mine owners charging up to $5,000 for a piece of rough It was a 9-carat piece of rough, $5,000. And that is representing a huge rise in the price over the last 12 months, but it's because it's very, very sought after. You know, this is the kind of gemstone that, as I say, it is going to set you apart. I know that you're quite big on picking the right venue for the right jewellery design, would you?
Yeah.
That's sort of your ethos, isn't it? You know, in certain venues you're going to be able to attract the clientele that are going to understand the cost of Colombian emerald, and other times, like you say, you could have an all agate stand and make everything affordable. So this is probably one for those elite jewellery makers that are selling to people with a good base knowledge about gemstones and that understand the kind of opportunity this is to own Colombian emerald. This is one that even a lot of collectors might not ever get the chance to own, I suppose, unless they're watching Jewellery Maker. I brought the first ever strand of Colombian emerald to you when I was filling in, when I was doing my presenter training, in fact. And it was $79.95, and we only had 10 strands the first time we ever got hold of it. I'm actually shocked that we're actually becoming more and more affordable on a gemstone like this. It's not really the way the industry works. The more sought after something becomes, the rarer it becomes, the prices tend to go up. But here at Jewellery Maker, that's not how we work. The bigger we get, the more buying power we have. We try to pass those savings on to you. I've already got people allocating this to their baskets. The final 8 strands in stock. So this is just like the original launch of this gemstone.
That's all we've got.
8. Well, we've only got 6 now, I'm being told, because 2 people have already snapped up a strand. But if you are creating bespoke jewellery designs, it doesn't mean that you only have to work with the denser gemstones. You can still offer your customers the most sought after gemstones on the planet. In fact, we had a few ladies in the workshop today doing beading thread with Gemma Crow, and they were all getting excited about the rough cut nuggets. These are in fact faceted rondells of Colombian emerald. It's incredible, isn't it? The reason I love Colombian emerald is that it really is prized for its inclusions, but because you've got that pale colour tone, you can really appreciate the jardin within the gemstone itself. They're quite subtle. In fact, I'm just going to put my hand behind the gemstone here. In fact, that's a much better representation of the colour that you're getting there. It looked a little pale there before we saw the recording. That's the exact
different, isn't it?
Tone.
I'm not going to say ordinary emerald, but do you know
I know what you mean. Yeah, when you think about perhaps Zambian emerald or Brazilian emerald, it has quite a dense colour tone, doesn't it? These are very subtle and elegant, I think. I love this colour tone. It's really sort of fresh, isn't it? It's ridiculous when you think about the price point we're about to do for 12 carats of Colombian emerald, and I'm being told we've got to get it on screen because half the stock's already been allocated. Oh, right, I understand. Okay, so basically, when the information for the gemstones is being filled in on our system, all of the like little selection boxes, you know, you get them when you're filling in your bank details or whatever, they're drop-down selections, so you select Visa, MasterCard, whatever. Yes, yeah. That's the same as on our system, and somebody's obviously been in a hurry filling in this, and the origin box, they've clicked Cambodia rather than Colombia. But it is just because they're right next to each other and drop down, so it's not inaccurate information, it's literally just a human error, basically. So our apologies, but let me assure you, this is Colombian emerald, 12 carats thereof, for $44.95. That is seriously impressive, isn't it? That's, well, unfathomable, really.
I don't think I've seen a colour like that, actually. It's quite mesmerising, isn't it? No,
can you?
Gosh.
Maybe that's why it's becoming so popular, because of that very subtle green colour tone that you wouldn't normally associate with emeralds from Brazil or Zambia, but Colombian emerald, something completely different. And it's really, well, I think it represents the standout variety of this gemstone. Of course, it's one of the big four, so it's going to be heavily recognizable. People are going to be aware of Colombian emerald. They're going to understand what you're offering them and appreciate that you've managed to source one of the rarest gemstones in the world, a gemstone that is increasing in price per carat year on year. So you really have to take advantage of these elite opportunities, because I don't know when we'll have another strand of Colombian emerald. Maybe never. Who knows? $44.95 absolutely represents ridiculous value, because, as I say, some mine owners charging $5,000 per 9 carat piece of rough. Here you've got 12 carats for $44.95. Totally ridiculous. We're moving on though, and we're going to give you the opportunity now to own my birthstone. Just put that back in the box. Rainbow Moonstone. Again, fantastic quality. Kind of quality you'd expect to be set into, I would say, at least 9 carat gold if you saw this on the high street. Even in our studio lights, that azurescence is coming through, isn't it? Look at that. Electric blues, neon colour tones there, greens as well. And this isn't a, this is no camera trick. This is a natural phenomenon. Mother Nature, once again, she just gets it right every time, doesn't she? It's known as azurescence, this optical effect. Basically, the gemstone is, when it's forming, it's built up of different layers of slightly different elements, and therefore, when the light enters the gemstone, it moves through these different elements at different speeds, and so the light is sort of bouncing around inside the gemstone and creates this colour plane known as azurescence. Now, this is something that has been revered from, well, thousands of years actually, 100 AD. This was already being appreciated for the visual element that it offers and set into jewellery by the ancient Romans in 100 AD, and even today still revered for that optical effect. But also, the interesting thing about this rainbow moonstone is that clarity. Again, you've got a very neutral colour tone, haven't you? So it's going to work with virtually any other gemstone. Unfortunately though, it is going to steal focus. It's going to definitely steal the show, because when people see that optical effect, that tends to capture people's imagination, doesn't it? Lots of people say that rainbow moonstone and labradorite tend to be their most profitable gemstones, because even people who don't have that knowledge about gemstones are going to be won over by a gemstone that's creating this mystical effect. Now, this comes from our collector's choice range, so it really is the creme de la creme. 50 carats in total of rainbow moonstone. Again, think about what you could pay for 50 carats of rainbow moonstone elsewhere. These range in size from 4x2 to 6x4. That sounds like quite a large variation, but we're talking about 1 or 2 millimeters here or there, and there certainly isn't a great deal of variation in the sizes. They're all quite similar in terms of their dimensions. Again, you've got that faceting on the outer edge of the rondelles themselves, so you're going to get lots and lots of sparkle from the faceting, and then when you look a little closer, you're going to get that gorgeous azurescence, that sort of bluish, or here we've got even sort of neon greens coming through. In fact, have a look at this whole spectrum of colour there. If I hopefully get that across, it's like a little rainbow living inside the gemstone. Actually, yeah, you can see almost like violet tones coming through here, can't you? It's absolutely out of this world. Some of the best rainbow moonstone we've ever stocked here at Jewellery Maker. Certainly one of the best strands I've ever brought you. If you do want to get involved, I have to tell you, we only have a limited number of these. That's the nature of this segment of the show. High-end opportunities, but unfortunately limited stock availability. So my advice, get involved early. Even if you're caught in two minds, if you're umming and ahhing, we do, of course, offer you a 30-day money-back guarantee so you can get it home, appreciate it for those 30 days before you make your final decision. Here comes your price point this evening for 50 carats of rainbow moonstone for $39.95. Less than £1 a carat here. Absolutely ridiculous. Ah, so we've had another question, this time from Fran in London, who wants to ask you for a bit of advice, Matt. Wants to know how she would incorporate rondelles or the wheels into jewellery designs other than drop earrings. Presumably she can already create those. Looking for some.
Okay, well I use them a lot when I'm doing chip and nugget designs, just to add accents. And the best one is when you use memory wire. So memory wire bracelet, memory wire bangles. I make a lot of them and I'm really successful with them. They're my top seller, memory wire bangles. Oh, really? And I make sure that I do 4 coils minimum, and then maybe do 2 inches of a certain chip, and then incorporate a wheel. Another 2 inches, then another wheel, and then as you wear it, because they are wheels, they're going to turn. You're going to rotate. So something like this in particular is going to just
you get a bit of movement. Absolutely. You're going to get that angular essence coming to the forefront of your design. Yeah. What I was going to say is actually when we had a bit of a memory wire bundle on, probably about a month ago or so, you were doing a workshop and we borrowed lots of your memory wire bangle designs to show people. Yeah. They are exquisite, but one that stood out for me actually, I think it was wheels of something, but it's peridot nuggets, and then there was something breaking it up. I can't quite remember. Actually, it might have been pearls now that I think about it. Yeah,
but another way, as we mentioned earlier, and with the other strand, is to lay them flat.
Yes,
and you tend to find then that you get three lengths. 3 times the length of the jewellery that you actually going to make, so it goes so much further.
Of course, because you're sort of increasing how much you can get out of the gemstone, because you're using the broader side, so it's going a bit.
So all you would do is you would take your first stone on the flat, and you put a piece of beading thread through it, bring 2 ends so they meet together, and then take the next stone and put one side of the thread through one side of the hole, and the other in the opposite direction, so they meet in the middle. Pull nice and tight, and just keep repeating that in, out, opposite direction. And you get that nice flat uniformity, and it's beautiful, really nice.
That's a great idea. Well, there you go, bit of inspiration and incredible value, so we can't say fairer than that. June's birthstone, rainbow moonstone, and that is fantastic quality. Where are we moving on to, sorry? Okay, well, I could think of, actually, now that I hold this, how about these together? Would this work? You've got the fiery tones, almost lava colours coming through from this carnelian, very passionate fiery tones, combined with the rainbow moonstone. I think that is a serious high-end offering, that one, isn't it? I was just thinking because of the faceted rondelles, so the cuts sort of mirror one another, and then you've got the intense colour tone from the carnelian, and you've got that subtle clarity from the moonstone, combined, of course, with the angular essence. So I think that's quite a good combination. Love this gemstone because you've got the colour zone and that shading across the strands. So you've got lots of different design opportunities working on one strand of gemstones. Absolutely love this. So you could pick out the cherry reds or the tangerines or the honey kind of colour tones, or of course you could use that shading as part of the design itself. So it almost graduates from the lighter colour tones into the more intense reds along the strand, doesn't it? Little more variation in the size here. They are graduated in size from 5 by 2 mil up to 10 by 5 mil. So by the time you get to the centre of the strand, we're talking about quite significant carat weights on each gemstone, aren't you? And again, you could use Mark's innovative design idea there of laying them out flat. Would that work with graduated gemstones as well? You don't
exactly
the same size.
No, exactly the same.
And then you're going to make the gemstones go even further again because they're going to be bigger.
That's right, absolutely.
Okay, oh wow, we're actually going to offer everybody an exclusive price reduction on this particular strand, only for the last in stock, of course, and it will only be available for 60 minutes. Should be $9.95, but that's not our price. But wow, should it really be $9.95 actually? That's the value we give you here at Jewellery Maker. It's already down at $9.95 and we've taken it down to $6.95. Wow. Even if you weren't looking at a genuine gemstone that had this much design scope in terms of the colour shading that you've got here, and you were talking about a synthetic, even if you took into account the amount of work that's gone into hand fasting each and every gemstone at $6.95, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Particularly for this time of year, because I sort of presume that people are starting to work with more of the vibrant colour tones in the summer months.
Yeah.
And actually, have I shared with you my orange gemstone theory, Mark?
No.
Okay, I have to be quick, I'm being told by my producer, but basically I think orange gemstones are essential for all jewellery makers because they span the seasons. In the winter, they provide warmth.
Yep. In
the spring, they're the perfect combination with your pastel colours. So, for example, Amazonite would go really well with tangerines, I think. Summer month, vibrancy.
Autumn leaves.
And then autumn. Never said it, does it?
No, that's good.
Yeah, you like that?
I like that.
Okay, I've got to leave that one with you at $6.95. It's flying out the door. That price reduction is only available for 60 minutes. The reason I'm being hurried along here is because it's time for a star buy. Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. Time now for a star buy, and on this occasion, once again, we've bundled 3 gemstone strands together in order to provide you with a wholesale opportunity. So let's have a look at everything we've got here. Oh wow, these are interesting. These are beautiful, actually. Okay, so these are all the wheels. This is quite in keeping with the ideas we've been discussing this hour. And we'll start with this beautiful white moonstone. So the difference between your rainbow moonstone and your white moonstone is that these have a slightly, I suppose, less clarity. And as a result, the agirescence that you get is more like the kind of chatoyancy you'd see on, say, like a tiger's eye, rather than colour play within the gemstone. Lots of graduation here. They range from 3x1 up to 6x1. There you go. Because you've got the more delicate cuts towards the end of the strand, it does look like these sizes vary a little more, but they are graduated in size. So that could potentially be a perfect accent gemstone because, as I say, it's quite neutral. It's not going to steal focus within the design, but it's still going to make a big impact because you get that optical effect from the gemstone itself. 55 carats of white moonstone in total. Here we go. While we're talking about gemstones that suit the season, have a look at this golden sort of sunshine glow from your lemon quartz here. Love that. Real golden tone. It almost looks like it's glowing, doesn't it? You see that? Beautiful, really really strong colour tone there. Sometimes lemon quartz can be a little pale, can't it? But this has real saturation of colour there, so it's going to make an impact. It's going to give you that golden tone, I think, within your designs. 55 carats in total. Again, graduated wheels, so they range from 3x1 to 6x4. And now Pete's favourite gemstone. If anybody's watching the Designer Inspiration Show, you'd be enjoying everybody trying to steal my job. Multicoloured fluorite here. And interesting actually, because normally on the fluorite we see quite subtle golden tones and stronger purples and greens, I would say. Here, real solid colour tone from the yellow fluorite. It's getting a little bit lost next to the lemon quartz. I'm going to hold it here, the other side of here, so we can get that contrast. Actually, do you know what? Strange that we said this hour, but the greens that you get in fluorite are quite similar to Colombian emerald greens, even though we couldn't think of a gemstone before, but now we've sort of stumbled across one here. But it might be this strand in particular has a sort of frosted finish to the gemstone, so that's perfect.
I didn't know it was fluorite.
Ah.
I came in and saw it the first thing, I thought it was a strand of mixed beryl.
It does have a very
beautiful, isn't it?
beryl-like feel to it, this strand, doesn't it?
It's very rich colours.
Yeah, looks like, I think it might be that matte finish, because it's making the colour tones more intense, isn't it?
Wow.
Like you say, fluorite normally quite subtle, but these are quite intense.
They are,
so there you go. You've got the greens, the golden tones. There are a few purple fluorites on this strand, but I mean, just have a look at this. I don't think I've ever seen a fluorite with that intensity of colour. It's almost like a lime green, if it's coming through on screen, but there it is. There we go. We've really caught it there. That bottom green gemstone. It's almost like an emerald green, or a. Actually, do you know what it looks like? It looks like Sapphire Garnet. Oh, I told you my earpiece is playing up tonight. You see it just jumped out my ear. Yeah, I was so shocked by the colour tones. My ears reacted. Get out. Okay, 3 gems of distinction strands in one bundle here, all the same cut, but you've got slightly different variations in the sizes, but they're all going to work together because they're not. It's not too dramatic, is it? So 55 carats of lemon quartz, 55 carats of white moonstone, and 60 carats of your multi-coloured fluorite, all from our Gems of Distinction range, which represents the highest possible quality we can source for you here at Jewellery Maker. Love these sunny colour tones. Great combination. Here comes your price. $11.95 this time. Wow. So now we're talking about less than £4 a strand. And normally these would actually fall into our Gems of Distinction range. So, I mean, for example, I would be expecting to pay $9.95 for each of these strands. I am being told that we can normally offer you incredible value. It's normally around about £17 for these 3 strands. Right now, save yourself about £5. £5 saving on 3 gemstone strands here. Absolutely the kind of quality you expect to be working with if you're shopping from us here at Jewellery Maker, that is.
There's a little round spaces, aren't they, in between those fluorite?
Yes.
Aren't they as well?
You
so
see that is a designer's mind at work. They're not thinking of necessarily about the gemstones. The gemstones speak for themselves. They're thinking, there's even greater value in that because you've got the little silver balls. They're just a base metal, but you'd use those within your designs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I saw on Facebook a micro macrame design, and they'd used the little silver spacer balls that you get in the findings packs in our kits as the beads in there. They're only 2 mil rounds.
Yeah,
and I was thinking,
that's right.
That looks really intricate. It looks quite difficult. I bet you could teach me to do it, couldn't you?
I'll have a go.
Under £4 a strand here for genuine gemstones. Absolutely unheard of elsewhere, but that's what we do here. 12 hours a day on Jewellery Maker. Provide you with the best value on the market for genuine gemstones. It is, of course, because we're part of the Genuine Gemstone Company. We've got a very long-standing relationship with the mine owners and gemstone suppliers across the world, and that equates to incredible value for you. So, particularly if you are selling your jewellery designs, this is the place to be. You know you're going to get the highest possible quality. You know you're going to get the best value as a result. $11.95 for 3 strands here, and we've already had some very innovative ideas from Mark about how you could use wheels and rondelles within your designs, and I'm even hearing that people are already texting through to say, right, that's it. Wipe this evening clear because I'm having a go at that technique. And I think it's been dubbed the Mark's in-out technique. Make of that what you will. $11.95 for the wheels of fortune here. Lemon quartz, multicoloured fluorite, some of the most intense colour saturation I've seen from a strand of fluorite, and then your white moonstone as well. 3 very revered gemstones for under £4 a strand. We are going to go to a quick break now. When we return, more inspiration from Mark and more incredible value from producer Liam, and you'll have to put up with me as well. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
The fastest way to shop with Jewellery Maker is by going to our website. Just click on the sign up button. Once you've filled in the required details, you can start shopping. You can watch the show by clicking the Watch Live button on the front page. You can also use our Refine tool and narrow down your search. Once you've found an item that you like, just simply click on the Buy Now button and the item will be added to your basket. Don't forget you can add as many items to your basket per day and still only pay 1 P&P. Enjoy shopping with Jewellery Maker. Are you looking to create bespoke bridal jewellery? Then come and join guest designer Sheila on our bridal workshop. Sheila will guide you through how to design stunning accessories, including techniques using headbands, hair combs and tiaras. The full course includes a selection of hair combs and headbands, a selection of findings and wire, a generous scoop of mixed gemstones, use of all relevant tools, a buffet-style lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studios and a trip to our Gemstone museum. All of this for just $69.95. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 6444 655.
Join guest designer and polymer clay expert Debbie Bulford for our Extruder DVD. Debbie will guide you through a variety of techniques, including how to create geometric patterns, the soutache and lace look, and much more. To get your hands on a copy, simply contact our call centre. Get creative with Jewellery Maker. If you love classic jewellery, then why not come and join guest designer Gemma Crow on our vintage workshop. Gemma will guide you through various beading and wirework techniques which will inspire you to create timeless designs from a bygone era. The full course includes a selection of wire, a selection of findings and charms, a bead scoop, use of all relevant tools and equipment, a buffet lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studio and a visit to our Gemstone museum. All of this for just $69.95. Have a blast from the past and take home some amazing designs. For further information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
Welcome back to the Late Show here on Jewellery Maker. My name's Ed and we are of course joined by the very talented and inspirational Mark Smith. Right, Mark? Are you working with your kit now?
I am, yeah.
I see. So Mark, we've given Mark a lot to do this evening because last week we launched a strand of sapphire nuggets, and it's sort of the idea is that you can already have the gemstone in your collection by the time Mark provides us with some inspirational designs later in the show. So this is coming up at about 8:30 p.m. There will be another opportunity to own this if you missed out previously, and it has been launched at $6.95, a price point that we're going to honour this evening. So sapphires for $6.95.
And this isn't even the superstar buy at the end of the evening.
No, it's not the superstar buy. This is
wow.
We've got. I think the idea was that it was sort of like make along. So if you've got your strand of sapphire, you can have a look what you've done and just emulate the designs potentially. So we have still got some stock available. So if you weren't around on Thursday night, we will give everybody the opportunity to own sapphires for $6.95. But the superstar buy that Mark refers to is coming up at 8:45 p.m. So just after we catch up with Mark Sapphire Designs, and it's this strand of Garnet. Real intense. I'm describing them as sort of pomegranate tones. That's the red colour that I'm seeing here, but you do get your purple hues coming through there as well. The quality of these garnets is ridiculous. And of course another birthstone. Talked about how popular birthstone jewellery is when you are selling your jewellery designs, or of course if you are making jewellery designs for friends and family, birthstone jewellery could be the way to go. Garnet is January's birthstone. This is coming as our superstar buy at 8:45 p.m. this evening. Just have a look at this. Coming up in less than an hour is our bezel set Labradorite. it is unbelievable. And I think sometimes we're a little bit almost blasé about Labradorite because we're very successful in sourcing high quality varieties here at Jewellery Maker. So it's almost like we as jewellery makers have been desensitized to what you're actually getting from a gemstone like Labradorite. But when you see Labradorite of this quality offering you this much Labrador essence and bezel set into sterling silver, we can absolutely appreciate exactly what we're working with here. Very, very high-end offerings there, and as I said, the chance to offer your customers, your clients, or your friends and family, if you are making gifts, the chance to own the kind of gemstones, the kind of carat weight, the kind of finish that you'd expect to associate with a master jeweller. Set into 925 sterling silver, and once again that just creates a very high-end finish to the gemstones themselves. I mean, I think these are all large enough to be used as pendants, certainly. But we'll get a little bit of inspiration, we'll get a few ideas from Mark as to how he would integrate those Labradorites into his designs. That's coming up at 7 PM. But before that, let's try and find and add it to your order price for everyone out there. We're going to start with these magnetic clasps. Now these were very, very popular when we previously had them in stock. Have we got a pair of tweezers, please, Pete? Pete's my floor manager. Thank you very much, sir. So here we go. Not that this could end in tears, because I am particularly rubbish with tweezers in my hand, as most regular viewers already know. But you actually get 3 of these as part of this item. They are 925 sterling silver, and are they magnetic? What's oh, hold on a second. Oh, well, they are magnetic because it's stuck to the tweezers. Ah, can we magnetise all findings so that I don't drop them with tweezers then? So that central part actually comes out the middle, doesn't it? That's what it is. Here we go. I've never seen these before. I've seen the design, but not the magnetic variety. So there you go. These are your 2 parts to the clasp, and they're magnetised. People have been contacting us in their droves to say, when will you have the magnetic flower clasp back in stock, I'm being told. So these are back by popular demand. Just have a look at the attention to detail on the metalwork itself. It's like a little rose in bloom. Oh, this is a good one for me and Mark, because we're both former horticulturists, aren't we? So I used to be a landscape gardener as well.
Did you?
But I think you probably worked.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. My one of my good friends, who was also called Mark, sadly isn't with us anymore, but he was a gardener and I used to work for him for a couple of years.
Well, I never knew that.
So there you go. Those are the kind of, you know, experiences though that actually give you a good understanding of design, because you are working with Mother Nature all day long, aren't you? Yeah. You find that that's influenced your design, your sort of understanding?
All the time. You know, every day you look out in the garden, you see something new.
Well, I did see your garden recently, actually. You put a few pictures, didn't you, of your daffodils in bloom?
Well, I'm going to do a selection every month, just to see.
Oh, really?
Because we've worked for 7 years on this garden, and it's just how we want it now.
Right.
So we're just going to, we have the opportunity that we can do a season by season, month by month, how the garden changes.
Fantastic. So have you thought about getting just a cheap digital camera and recording it for the whole month, and then you could speed it up?
Lapse.
Yeah, do a little time lapse of your garden. So you see all the flowers blooming and everything. That'd be cool. Okay, these are literally flying out the door. They're backed by popular demand. Wow. Most people taking 2 or 3 of this particular item. So if you do want to get involved, please start dialing that free phone number right now. 3 magnetic clasps, and just have a look at that attention to detail. $7.95 for 3 clasps. And I imagine that these are the kind of items, again, that are going to set you apart from other jewellery designers. They're going to show your customers, or your potential customers, that you work on that level, that you have an attention to detail. And it's all about the finish, really, when you're selling your designs. I understand that for the hobbyists out there, you know, something like, well, we were talking about macrame earlier, weren't we, and how easy it is to get started with a discipline like that. And of course, I understand that that can be quite, almost quite fun and engaging for other people as well, you know, things like braiding techniques and macrame. But when you're selling your jewellery designs, people tend to want a traditional look despite the fact they're buying bespoke jewellery, and it's things like this that can really elevate your designs. Beautiful. I think it's just because of the floral finish, really, but also 925 sterling silver. You've got that magnetised part to the clasp itself. So if you are potentially creating jewellery designs, I know we talk a lot about jewellery makers who potentially have dexterity problems. These could be very, very useful for that, but also maybe if you're getting youngsters involved in jewellery making, so you know you don't need to necessarily have attached the guns really perfectly, because it's always going to reattach, isn't it, because it's magnetised. £7.95 for 3 here, so we're talking about less than £3 per clasp. Oh, that's true, actually. Liam makes a great point. He's saying, you know, if you have got youngsters who are getting involved in crafting hobbies, you know, there could be a temptation for them to overwork metal clasps, for example, to try and get the finish. But actually, I think we're all guilty of that, surely. You know, if you're not happy with your finish, you're going to take it off, try again, take it off, try again. With your magnetic clasps, you've always got that very sturdy attachment for your bracelets and necklaces. £7.95, hugely popular, and I can see that Rebecca's got 3, anonymous buyer, you've got 3, Pat's got 2, lots and lots of multi-buyers there, so that could potentially be a sellout tonight, despite the fact that it's backed by popular demand. So the perfect finish to your jewellery designs. Where are we going on to? Oh, we've got a message. We've had a message from somebody. And don't forget, if you do want to get involved with the show, don't hesitate. We really appreciate your interaction. This is coming from Mahari, who is responsible for something that I'm going to say in a minute. It might be late, but the deals are great from Mahari. The winner of the comp keeps deals coming. And will you please say a big hello to my big cousin, Celia, because she's watching. Yes, I will. Hello, Celia. Mahari's actually from the same place as my family in Ayrshire. So there you go. Hi, Celia. What have we got to do? Oh, right. I said it, and then I said it as part of the email. But let's do it properly. Look at Pete. He's on tenterhooks. Can't wait to be involved. Okay, here we go. Is everybody ready? Mark, do you know about this? Okay, basically, Mahari is responsible for writing. Mahari is responsible for writing our new late show slogan. We used to be, if you miss it,
you miss it! That's my favourite.
Now it's, it may be late,
but the deals are great.
It's quite a performer today, isn't he, Pete? Mark looks so unimpressed. I love it, Mahari. I'm using it. I should say, do you know what? I used it in my wedding speech yesterday at my sister's wedding. I had to give a speech, I had to give her away. I put a little joke in there about the fact that I got to be the centre of attention giving a speech. I was saying, when do I ever get the chance? And then I said, tune in to Sky 655 daily from 5 PM. It may be late, but the deals are great. I really did as well.
And your sister's
I promoted my show, the Jewellery Maker show, at my sister's wedding. Never switch off. Always trying to get as... Do you know what? As the audience grows...
Oh no.
It increases our buying power, drives the prices down so we can offer you better value. I bet one person at the wedding is going to become a jewellery maker thanks to that. Do you know what? Actually, every single person this morning was like, I'm definitely watching you. because you look like you haven't slept all night. We know you're going to be in trouble, so I'm going to watch. So we've got lots of people watching tonight, and most of them are watching for Mark. Mark's here to provide us with inspiration, and I'm here to provide you with value on genuine gemstones. Have a look at this. Oh, I love this. We've just been talking about the idea of working with sort of earthy colour tones. This Scapolite fits into that perfectly. In fact, the Botswana agate from the previous hour would work really well with this, I think. Do you agree with that, Mark?
That's what I would put it with.
See, I could see the cogs turning there, actually.
The blue topaz we had at the beginning of the show.
Ooh, yeah, so the icy blues and then
stunning,
the earthier colours. That's a good combination. I love that. You've got a real variation of colour tones here because you've got sort of storm cloud greys, you've got apricot tones, a real variation of colours, real mixture there. And again, these have been misclassified. They've been classified as plain hearts. They're actually top drilled drops, they're not hearts. I don't know whether that's a sort of generic classification somewhere else in the world, or whether it's a simple drop down problem again, so a bit of a human error. But these drops range in size from 8 to 13 millimeters in size. So again, you could create those matching sets with your pendant and your earrings, for example. Let's have a look at our current price for this strand at JewelleryMaker.com, $9.95. But that's not the price you're going to pay this evening if you get involved in the next 60 minutes, because we are going to offer you an exclusive price reduction. I can thank my producer for this reduction. He's taken it down to a clearance price, Scapolite, for $5.95. Another collector's gemstone here, and actually, because of the possibilities that you've got with this strand, because of the variation you've got in the colour tones and also the finish on each gemstone, you could create so many different pieces of jewellery using just this one strand, and you've got it all for just $5.95. Kind of crazy price, but that's what we do here at Jewellery Maker. And of course, here on the Late Show, you're going to get better value than ever because we are tasked with clearing out the last of stock. So if we look like we are going to maybe sell out on a strand and make way for some new and exciting products, producers are given license to go a little bit crazy on the price, and that's exactly what Liam's done here. He's taken this down to $5.95 for 70 carats of Scapolite, and that will be available at that price for 60 minutes. So lots of people flying through. And now we're going to move on to Mark's birthstone. And when we think about February's birthstone, when we think about amethyst, I think this is the colour tone that we most likely associate with the gemstone. Yes, there are a huge number of different varieties of amethyst. You've got your pink amethyst, your rose de France, your lavender amethyst, even green amethyst, but this is the colour tone that most people associate with the gemstone. Very intense purple colour tone, almost a very regal purple in fact, and that's exactly what you've got here. Again, we've enhanced Mother Nature's hard work by faceting these gemstones, and because of that depth of colour that you've got on this particular strand, that's almost providing you with a lustre with the faceting. When we talk about lustre, we're referring to this sort of reflective quality that you've got here, where the light is literally bouncing off the surface. Look at that. Gorgeous. 8x6mm barrel shapes here, over 100 carats. And could you incorporate these barrels into like macrame designs?
Exactly. I mean, they're a perfect shape for macrame. Okay, the caged bead. Oh yeah.
I am getting it then.
I'm just imagining that with gold wire.
Oh, that's a great idea. That was very regal.
On the recent bridal macrame DVD that we did with we did a triple row with wire. I'm just imagining gold wire with 3 rows of that to make a really nice cuff. I think it'd just be incredible.
Do you know what? I love the macrame designs done with wire, because I always think you get a very tight, very professional finish to your macrame designs. But when you are working with cords, I hope you don't take offence to this, but it can look a little more like craft work rather than jewellery design, can't it? And with wire, sort of, again, it lifts it a little, doesn't it?
No, I love wire macrame.
This is proving to be very, very popular. Lots of people adding this to their basket already, and we are going to provide you with a price reduction. That's the way to shop here at Jewellery Maker. Get involved. As soon as you see something you like the look of, you know you're going to get the best value on the market, and you might even get a little treat in the form of a price reduction, and that is exactly what we're about to do. So the current price for this strand is $8.95 for over 100 carats of amethyst. We're not staying there. Oh, I like it. He's feeling brave. I told you it's a last in stock deal. And he's giving you a last in stock price of under £5 for amethyst. Mark just looked so shocked then.
Are we allowed to go under £5?
No. We're not, but we're doing it. We're breaking the rules. We're mavericks, Mark. We're behaving badly.
Of course, yes.
Yes. Well, that's what we're going to tell.
Do you know what I would do with that?
Tomorrow.
Straight away, I would, again, maybe the gold wire or the bright fuchsia pink wire.
Oh, that's a good
idea. Let's do individual rosary chain links in between each stone, and my mum would love that as a spectacle chain. She's always losing her glasses.
Ah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's something we mention on the morning show quite often, that any of the smaller shaped gemstones, and this is a perfect shape, will make exquisite spectacle chains for Christmas presents.
Funny that you say that, actually, because I remember yesterday my sister threatening to super glue my mum's spectacles to her face because she's never got them with her. So actually, you've just given me an idea for a gift. Yeah. I might, maybe just because she hasn't got a birthday or anything coming up. There you go.
Is that a commission?
Oh yes, I could get somebody to create one.
Yeah.
There we go. Mark's touting for business live on air. I like it. That's the way I like it. Oh yeah, that's a good point. My producer says the man who promoted Jewellery Maker.
Yes.
In his sister's wedding speech. Yes, I did do that. Appalling.
I can't believe that. Are you being honest?
Yeah,
you
honestly.
did it.
Yeah, of course I did. You would expect nothing less from me, would you? Okay, this is going to be a sellout because virtually every single person's come through and bought 2 or 3, and you can see why the quality of the amethyst that you've got here for that price point, it really is what we call here at Jewellery Maker a no-brainer. If you've got an order up and running, you can really maximise on that 1 P&P per day by adding a strand of amethyst to your order for $4.95. How many strands of this do we have in stock? Okay, so we only had double figures to begin with. We had around about 84 strands. We've got about 20 left. That's not 100% accurate, but gives you an idea of the urgency that you need. It looks like it's going to be a sellout strand, so let's try and find something else. Oh, in fact, I should say, it's star buy time. Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. Everyone's still taking the mickey out of me for promoting Jewellery Maker at the wedding, but you've got to take these opportunities.
It probably would have been more.
Do you know what? Actually, I am being a bit rubbish, really, because I should say congratulations to my sister and my new brother-in-law, shouldn't I, really, Laura and Kirk. So I'm sure that after last night, they're tuned in. They were tuned in at 5 PM. They'd have been there waiting. Maybe not, but if you are watching, then congratulations. It's nice to, you know, have a brother at last. I've got a brother now. Never had a brother. I had 2 little sisters my whole life. And my brother-in-law is one of my best friends, you see. So my sister's married one of my best friends.
You get them together. Were you responsible for the pairing?
Yes, I was.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
I said that in the speech. Basically, my brother-in-law is an IT genius. My PC broke, I sent him around the house to fix it, and my sister was there to let him in.
Oh.
And the rest is history. 8 years to the day down the line. There you go.
You're like Cilla Black.
Okay, let's get a star buy from our Graham. Right, where are we going up to? Which one is it? Oh yes. Now this, I remember, is something that you were interested in upstairs. Were you talking about the Smoky Quartz with Liam, weren't you?
Yes.
See, this is quite an autumnal combination, isn't it?
With that Botswana from earlier.
Yes.
Perfect.
And we've got another gemstone here. Looks to me like, is this dendritic opal? Number 14.
Chalcedony, is it?
Oh, it's just Ethiopian opal.
Wow.
Oh, in fact, whoa, I just saw the pinfire in it. It really is in good way. But I was just thinking of that as a good combination, because these are quite earthy colour tones, and then this really has a very organic feel to it, doesn't it?
That previous strand of the amethyst, that's the same shape, isn't it? And size.
Yes, it's the 6x8mm barrels.
Perfect. They go really well together. Or as you said earlier, orange and purple.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I would buy, well, that amethyst at that amazing price, and separate the dark, vivid oranges to go with the amethyst, and then the paler shades to go with the smoky quartz. Perfect.
Ah, that's a great idea. The reason that's such good advice and such good inspiration is that we know that 80 people just got hold of some of this amethyst, so now we're trying to give everybody an idea of how you could integrate that into your designs. That's a great idea. So use the more intense oranges with the more intense purples, and then the more pastel tones with the smoky quartz.
Yeah, perfect.
There you go. But actually, to be honest, even if you don't like working with amethyst, even if you didn't get that strand, this in itself is a perfect combination, isn't it? You've got the earthiness from the smoky quartz, and then you've got that intensity, if you like, from the tangerine tones in the carnelian. Glowing Embers is the name of this particular bundle. And so my producer was already thinking about those intense oranges, weren't you? He's very enthusiastic about this bundle. He's loving it in there. He's saying, I'll put it together for this reason. So he's getting all excited. Over 100 carats of carnelian, as Mark rightly says, 8x6mm barrels. They're faceted. I like that because you almost get a sort of elongation. It's almost like somebody stretched out.
It's a good word, barrel.
Yeah.
It's a really good, straightforward word.
It sounds quite industrial, doesn't it? Yes, I like that. And then you've got 60 carats of your shaded smoky quartz. So again, you've got some which are that deep, rich chocolate brown, others that are offering you almost a sort of golden hue in a way. This is going to represent incredible value because we are going to offer you these at under £5 a strand once again. Let's have a look at our price point for this start by £8.95, in fact less than £4.50 a strand. So if you do want to get involved, you know what to do. This is the way to maximise on the value that we can offer you here at Jewellery Maker. Get involved by dialing that free phone number. You may come through to a short queue. Actually, we are being very, very busy on the phone lines this evening. Don't panic about that. It's about 60 seconds you're going to have to wait. You're going to come through to a member of our award-winning help team. You will be answered in the order in which you dial, and the end result is that you're going to get 2 strands of gemstones for £8.95. Would normally cost you £12.90. So effectively saving yourself £4. And that means you can add another strand to your order, probably.
It's a long strand as well, isn't it, that smoky quartz?
The smoky quartz is, I think, classified at 30 centimetre strand, but whenever they say that, I'm never sure. So you've actually got a little bit more than that. It's about 32 centimetres, but it's a conservative estimate, at least 30 centimetres, let's say.
I would just take that off the strand as it is, and I would put maybe a 4mm pearl, just a white, classic white pearl in between each one, and nothing else, just that.
How about the little spacer beads that you got on the strand of fluorite? Could you break up the smoky quartz with those? Because that's a good thing about smoky quartz for me. It works with, well, all metal tones. That's one of the reasons I love smoky quartz. I think with gold, it looks, as in yellow gold, it looks amazing, but it also works with rose gold and silver.
Perfect.
So lots of design scope, I suppose. That's what we're looking for as jewellery makers. Lots of different options with each and every strand. That's what you've got with these two. £8.95, a wholesale deal. Lots of people getting involved once again on the phone lines and at jewellerymaker.com. Again, if you are placing these items in your basket at jewellerymaker.com, you need to check out to avoid disappointment, because place it in your basket is just a sort of signal of intent. It doesn't ensure that you're going to get the item. So if somebody was to come to you on the phone lines, potentially your strand could be allocated to their order. So please make sure that you check out as you add items to your basket. I'm going to leave that one with you. We've got a lot to fit in before we bring you our next star buy, which is the premiere launch of the bezel set Labradorite. I was thinking that because of the finish you've got on these Labradorites, you've got that optical effect, that beautiful labradorescence. They've been faceted to perfection, but they've been bezel set into sterling silver. So I was thinking, if you saw one of these as a pendant in a jewellery design, maybe on the high street, maybe from, you know, a little boutique or something, what kind of price point would you expect to pay for that Labradorite necklace? Have a think about that before we give you an exclusive launch price on these. So maybe just to get an idea of the kind of price points you could achieve if you're working with that quality of Labradorite that's been set into sterling silver. And then once you start to think about those kind of price points, you'll really be able to understand the value that we're going to offer you tonight on that premiere strand of Labradorite. It's coming up in about 15 minutes time, so not long to wait at all. But before that, more very, very earthy colour tones, this time in your Labradorite hearts. Look at this. This is really interesting. Have a look at this labradorescence. So you've got the same effect that we saw in those bezel set labradorites. There you go. But these have been cut into heart shapes. Could you potentially create the ultimate piece of Labradorite jewellery here? Heart-shaped Labradorites, which are 10mm in size, as the accent to your bezel set faceted droplet. So we've never previously given you the opportunity to own this strand individually. It's always been as part of bundles or kits that have been put together by our product strategists or our designers. I love this. This is really cool because you've got a massive difference in the colour tones you're getting in your labradorescence depending on the base colour of the gemstone. So there, where you've got that lighter, maybe sort of like a dolphin grey tone, you're getting all of these sort of green labradorescence. As you move down, have a look at this, where you've got more of the earthy colours here, you've got that sort of peach labradorescence. And I just saw one as well that had a lot of golden labradorescence. So there, hopefully that's going to come through. Don't know if it's coming through on screen, but I can see golden labradorescence on this particular gemstone. So again, lots of design scope, lots of different opportunities working with one gemstone strand, and of course, here, the lapidus has done a lot of the work for you in creating your little hearts. Oh wow, look at this. Just saw like a lilac labradorescence. Did we get it? I don't know if I've seen that colour tone before. Look. It's really intense in the studio when I'm covering up the lights, but as soon as the lights hit it, there it is.
Oh yeah.
It's not a colour you usually see in labradorescence. It tends to be more of the greens and blues. But here, you've got a very, almost like a fuchsia tone, if you like. Wow, this is going to be very, very popular, this strand. We know how popular labradorescence is. It was voted as our favourite gemstone to work with over the last 2 years because at the end of 2012, we did an award ceremony. One of the categories was your favourite gemstone. We did the same at the end of 2013. Labradorite won both years. So 2 years on the trot, Labradorite has been crowned as our favourite gemstone to work with. When I put it to our viewers on Facebook, you know, why is it your favourite? Basically, they all told me. Because it sells. People are engrossed by that optical effect known as labradorescence. Not always easy to show you in the studio, so it's much more intense when you see it in daylight, for example, rather than all these studio lights. But it is coming through here, so that's just goes to highlight the quality that you're getting on this strand. And then the ever popular heart shape cut there as well, so synonymous with romance, of course. But, well, I say romance, but really it's love, isn't it? So it could be any kind of love. It doesn't have to be romantic, does it, to work with hearts? You can get a heart for, like, you know, your mum or your sister, for example. 10 mil in size, 120 carats all in all, and maybe the perfect accent stone to our premier strand of bezel set Labradorite coming up in about 10 minutes time. If you want to get involved, then start dialing that free phone number right now. Here's your price. Whoa, $7.95. I definitely wasn't expecting that. $7.95. You've got a lot of gemstones on this strand, you can see. Still significant enough in size to make an impact on your designs. That, for me, is a real added to your order price, because it's $7.95 for any strand of Labradorite. I would be excited by that. But to get the heart cuts, when we've seen that, you know, huge array of different colour tones within the Labradorescence, I will measure the strand for you just so we know exactly what we're getting. So we're talking about, well, that's 30 up to there. Yeah, so nearly 40 centimetres, 39.5 centimetres I've measured this strand at. A lot of gemstones there for $7.95. Must have. Maybe you've seen this as part of kits or bundles previously, but maybe you didn't invest in that kit. You can now own this as an individual strand for just $7.95. Where are we moving on to then? Ooh, sky blue apatite. Although, have a look at the colour tone and see what you make of it, because I'm seeing lots of almost lagoon greens coming through as well. Now, this is only previously featured on the show once before today, and we're already down to limited availability. This is incredible. It's almost like you're getting the neon apatite qualities, but with the sky blue colour tone. So it's very intense, almost inner glow from the gemstone itself. This is another huge strand. That's right at 36 centimetres, and the gemstones range from 4x3 up to 10x8. And you know what, this is quite similar. I mean, they're called ovals. For the most part they are, but have a look at the larger gemstones. They're almost that barrel cut that we just saw in the fluorite and the amethyst. Not fluorite, sorry, the carnelian and the amethyst, that was it. So, similar. It's just because the larger gemstones are a little broader, so as a result, rather than being an oval, it's a bit more like a barrel shape. As you move along the strand, as they get smaller, they're much more oval-like. Love this colour tone. So we've already discussed the idea of blue gemstones being very, very popular with people that are investing in genuine gemstone jewellery. Particularly people's first purchase of gemstone jewellery tends to be a blue gemstone. Don't know why that is, but it's just an industry trend, if you like. 60 carats in total of sky blue, or shall we say lagoon blue apatite here. Faceted, again, it's the faceting that really makes this strand for me. That's the way I see it, because you've got the intensity of the colour tone, and then when you see a little bit of that sparkle, that play of light on the surface of a gemstone, just draws the eye in, and then you can really appreciate the colour tone you're getting there. It's going to make a huge impact on your designs. In fact, once again, could this be the perfect combination? The garnet and the apatite, very intense, those colours together, don't they? Yes, that amethyst would have worked with virtually anything, wouldn't it? Because it was a very intense colour tone as well. We've still got it here, in fact. Here we go. So lots and lots of people got involved. That's right, actually. Liam just said, I bet it'll go with anything now that we've taken it down to $4.95. It's good. It's a good point, though, actually, because sometimes... Oh, actually, yeah, it's got nothing to do with the price point. It is the colour. Mark's 100% right there. Look at that. That's fantastic. So if you got hold of the amethyst, you have to be dialing that free phone number right now to add the apatite to your order. Another huge strand. What was it? 36 centimeters. So you got a lot of gemstones on there again. Because of the intensity of colour, you don't need a lot of these to make an impact there. You could actually just pick one of the sort of medium-sized ones, or two of the medium-sized ones, sorry, and create beautiful earring designs if you're trying to maximise.
You could have two of the apatite with one of the amethysts suspended from the bottom using rose gold findings or copper wire, rosary link again.
Like I'm being told, my producer, he's going to get the price on screen because he has a question to ask you.
Me?
Apparently. Let's get the price on screen. I think this is going to prove to be very, very popular. Certainly one of the, I would say, the highest quality strands of sky blue apatite I've ever seen. Okay, so here's the question for you, Mark. Okay, producer Liam is saying, you just suggested that we made a pair of earrings using the amethyst and apatite.
Yep.
Ah, okay. Now I've actually heard Mark talk about this previously, so I know what the answer's going to be, but it is probably the most essential part of jewellery making if you want to sell your designs. People want to know how to work out the prices they should charge for jewellery. I've heard you talk about it on the morning show quite a few times, and I recently was talking to Angela Edwards about the exact same subject, but this is exactly right. This is what, so the person who's texting has basically been told that they're not charging enough for their jewellery designs, and I have talked about this previously with because Angela was saying to me she tried to sell a lot of designs. They were sort of old stock for her, so she just put them in a bucket for £2.50, £3, didn't sell one. Next day, she came back with Jewellery Maker bracelet boxes, put them all in there, £25, she sold every single one. And so sometimes I think if you're not building value into your design, you can't expect your customers to understand the value. But do you have a formula, or do you
it's experience. I mean, I've had my craft stall over 2 years now, and whenever we're out and about and there's craft fairs going on, I always go in and have a little spy and see what's going on. And there aren't actually very many stall holders out there predominantly just using gemstones.
Right.
They either use glass or synthetic, or a mixture of the both.
Right.
So you just need to really push the product that you're using.
Yes.
And as far as charging, I mean, there's lots of different scenarios that people have and ratios, and some people say it's whatever it costs you, double it,
times by
or this sort of thing. But and then again, it's difficulty how much you charge yourself for your time.
Exactly, you have to build those things in, don't you? Not just your time, but your creativity as well. It's your ideas, isn't it?
Because you get to a point where you make a pair of amethyst earrings, takes you 3 minutes to make, and you put out there for £5. And then you could make a heavy, a 9 plaited chip bracelet necklace that could take you 2 or 3 days. Yeah. You want to put it out there for £200 or £300 because of your time, but you can't.
So much more time,
you can't because it won't sell. So it's just finding that happy medium.
It's a balance, isn't it?
But the best thing to do is go around other people's stalls. And as you were talking about Angela in the basket, I mean, if I was approaching a gemstone stall and I saw a piece of jewellery for £3,
you think
I wouldn't think that can't be real, and you just walk past, wouldn't you? So it's just finding that. And what's really good, you see, is when you've got a craft stall, is you're the boss.
Yes.
So you can make it your own prices. If somebody comes and thinks, oh, that's a bit expensive, make an offer.
Well, you know what? That, I suppose, is one of the reasons why the Genuine Gemstone Company has had such success, because, of course, with gemstones, the key thing is, with a piece of glass, it costs everybody the same, and it has the same inherent value to everybody. It's not going to go up in price, but with a gemstone, what's worth tens of thousands of pounds to one person is worthless to someone else. It tends to be people's knowledge base as well. So some people only are aware of rubies, diamonds, emeralds and sapphires. So if you say to them, well, this is neon apatite, for example, this is sky blue apatite, they haven't heard of it. It doesn't mean anything to them. Whereas if somebody's got lots of knowledge about gemstones and they're aware that it's quite rare to find these kind of colour hues in apatite, they might think, wow, that is a gemstone I have to own. So it's, It's about finding the right customer base, I suppose, for your jewellery designs.
And then look in jewellery shop windows. You know, when you're out and about shopping at the weekend, just look in the windows and see what people. I mean, we always talk about prices of pearls in shop windows, don't we? And okay, they've got the overheads, they've got the imports and the lighting and staff costs. And if it's just you and a strand of jewellery maker.
Do you think that somebody who's investing in a luxury item like a piece of jewellery is factoring in the designer's overheads, though? They're thinking about it from their own point of view. Yeah. Usually, I would imagine. So I can understand why people are being sort of accused of underpricing, if you like, because you have to build value into your own work.
And you were talking earlier about glass beads. I mean, I've met some amazing people who make their own beads. You know, the Doric glass beads. They make their own glass beads. And again, every one of those is going to be unique. Yeah. But the factory-made glass beads, I mean, they're going to have 2, 3, 4 thousands identical, aren't they? Where with gemstones, even on a strand of chips, you're not going to get 2 identical.
The nature's a bespoke design,
and that's what you need to get across to customers, and that's why you can charge a bit more money than you would for wood or plastic.
And also, you find that if you are sourcing your gemstones here at Jewellery Maker, that can almost provide you with your own USP, because almost every other store is going to be
make sure we can get it in 2 ways now. You can either print them off the website, or you can buy them for 50p. Your authenticity certificates, especially now that we're selling diamonds.
Yes, imperative that you're able to prove they are exactly what you say they are.
Without a doubt. Yeah. So as I said, you can print them off. I think they're free of charge still off our database.
So, I think if you have to phone up and order one,
but I mean for
50p,
the little plastic ones, just to have with you, just in case.
I mean, if you do buy some of the really impressive high-end gemstones as well, you could almost just give that as a little extra, couldn't you, to your customer as well, and say, like, there you go, so you can prove to people who are admiring it, it is what we
absolutely.
Okay, we're going to move on then. Thank you, Mark. Aha. I like this.
Wasn't that one of Bruce's lines? Have you plagiarised one of his lines?
I'll be honest, it's not a new joke here at the Genuine Gemstone Company.
Oh, okay.
Basically, every single person that's ever produced or directed on Gems or Jewellery Maker has cracked it or heard it.
Is it in the same sort of so delightful vein?
Exactly right, yes. Basically, we're not very original when it comes to our comedic material here at Jewellery Maker, but it's because the oldies are the goodies. 165 carats of beautiful iolite here. And the name of this gemstone derives from the Greek word for violet. And as a result, that is the association you make with this gemstone. So you expect there to be an intense violet colour from the gemstone itself, and that's exactly what you've got here. These are huge. They're ovals. They range in size from 14 by 10 up to 23 by 17, so really significant size. Just have a look at this one here. See that? And sometimes the inclusions make a gemstone what they are. It really gives it that individual character. Oh, that's interesting. So our management team are also the owners of the company. The Bennett family are a family-run business, and they've gone on a little gem hunting mission, is that right? They're out of the country, and I'm being told that Steve has recently posted a picture on his Facebook page of some iolite that he's been negotiating with the mine owner about providing iolite, probably for jewellery designs on our sister channel Gems TV. Tends to be Steve's focus. His sister-in-law, Paula Bennett, is the channel manager here and is responsible for a lot of the buying that we see on our gemstones. So the iolite that you see Steve sourcing could end up on Jewellery Maker, but more likely to be on Gems TV. But go and have a look, because that gives us a great idea of where we get hold of our gemstones from, and the fact that here at the Genuine Gemstone Company we source our gemstones direct from the mines. And the owner of the company, Mr. Steve Bennett, he's a real-life gem hunter, and he tells me he's been to more artisan mines than anyone else in the world. He said if anybody wants to argue with him, then he'll show them the plane tickets. So that's what he says. That's his words. And so, and my producer is currently looking at those images on Facebook, and he says they are very impressive. And I presume, are they faceted gemstones that are there? So they're finished, they've been polished, faceted, so you're going to get an idea of the kind of quality that are being set into potentially 18 karat gold on our sister channel Gems TV. But I bet the colour tone is no more intense on those highlights than what we've got here. And it's that rich violet tone, as I say, that you associate with the gemstone anyway. But, you know, yes, you need to have beautiful clarity, a perfect faceting if you're going to set a gemstone into a piece of jewellery. But sometimes doing less to a gemstone actually provides you with a greater finish, because think of the carat weights you're going to get hold of as part of these huge ovals. Okay, right, okay, we've got to get the price on screen. We've been having too much fun, I'm being told. $11.95. We've got another star buy to bring you, of course, that Labradorite, and I've just had a little brainwave. How about this? Love that combination. Okay, we're going to give you a price reduction on the highlight as well. Wow. I guarantee you're not going to be getting 165 carats of highlight for £8 on Gems TV and their jewellery. Of course, they are going to provide you with the best value on the market for jewellery designs. But if you're a crafter, you've come to the right place. Wholesale deals on genuine gemstones. We've just taken this strand of highlight down to £8 this evening. Another opportunity not to be missed, and another add it to your order price when you think about the carat weight and the quality of this beautiful highlight. I've got to leave that one with you because it is now time to launch Labradorite as a star buy. Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. The graphics are on screen and you know what that means. You can start dialing that free phone number right now to get involved with this deal. Did I just inadvertently come up with a new catchphrase?
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Another one-liner. Have a look at this. This has to be some of the highest quality Labradorite we've ever seen, and that is why we have set it into 925 sterling silver here. Bezel settings. Just have a look at this Labradorescence. I can pick any gemstone here because it's of such high quality. Labradorescence is absolutely coming to the forefront. Now, there's a real variety of good tones. Have a look at this one, for example. Intense electric blue or violet tone there. But then, if you move along the strand, look at that, a rainbow type effect there. Wow. Sort of more of the peach and gold tones coming through on this one. Look at that, lime greens and golden tones there. See that? It's gorgeous, isn't it? Whoa, look at that. That's like the colour you see on a sunrise. That sort of a pale orange and golden tone. So you've got lots of design scope once again, because of course you could match your accent gemstones to the colour of the Labradorescence that you're getting. So with some of the peach and golden tones, you could work with certain gemstones. When you've got the more intense electric blues, you could use different gemstones. In fact, I'm starting to think, once again, about that amethyst. Don't know why it works so well with so many gemstones, but have a look at that. The electric blues and the purples working again. Oh, Mark, you're agreeing with me. I'm encouraged whenever the designers are like, oh yeah, that definitely worked. Nodding, I'm like, yeah, I got it right. But also, how about that sapphire that we're going to have a look at in the next style? That might work with the blues as well.
You've been talking about this now for about 3 or 4 minutes, and not once have you said it's difficult to see the Labradorescence with our lighting in the studio. You're right.
That is a regular line.
Yeah, but we don't need to say it because, I mean, it speaks for itself. Look at it.
Exactly
it's
right.
phenomenal.
Do you know what? The only reason that we say that is that, you know, the light in the studio is much more intense than you'd get from daylight. And so sometimes it does affect our ability to show the optical effects. But as Mark rightly says, the quality of these gemstones is so high that it's unaffected by the ridiculous light source that we have in the studio. You can still see real intense labradorescence in each and every gemstone. You know that we're going to have picked some of the most high quality samples of Labradorite here because, of course, we've set it into 925 sterling silver. Very, very high end. And I believe that is going to set you apart from other designers. It's going to show that you are working on a slightly higher level. Not only are you working with precious or semi-precious metals in the form of sterling silver, but the gemstone itself has been set into that silver. And it's the kind of quality, it's the kind of finish that you normally associate with a jeweller of, you know, pretty high standards. So maybe even the high street jewellers, you might not expect to get this kind of carat weight set into silver. You've got 7 gemstones on this particular strand, and it accounts for 60 carats. So we're talking about just under 10 carats on each gemstone there, aren't we? I wonder if we can see this labradorescence here. Just have a look at the intensity of the different colour tones. Ah, it's not quite there. Let me lean it forward. There we go. So you've got blues, greens, golden tones, apricot tones coming through, even purples. As I'm looking down at the gemstones, not sure all of these colour tones are coming across on screen, but do you know what? That is why we offer you a 30-day money-back guarantee here at Jewellery Maker, so that you can get them home. And in all honesty, you're not going to get a true appreciation for the gemstone through the TV screen. You really need to see it in the flesh. Because what you think you can see there is going to look potentially totally different when you match it up with certain gemstones. So you really got to see it in daylight. You've got to match it up with your accent gemstones to get a true appreciation of how this is going to look within your designs. And obviously we give you that opportunity with a 30-day money-back guarantee. We are going to be launching this with an exclusive launch price this evening. So if you do want to get involved, please start dialing that free phone number right now. We only have a limited number, as you would expect, because when we're setting the gemstones into 925 sterling silver, has to be very, very high quality, and it's rare to find Labradorite of this quality, in all honesty. Okay, let's get our launch price on screen for this, $24.95. That works out at £3.52 per bezel set gemstone. So I was trying to give everybody an idea of what you would expect to pay if you saw a sterling silver pendant with this quality of Labradorite in, for example, a boutique window. Do you seriously think that, let's add the price of a chain on. Do you think, say a chain is $6.95 here at Jewellery Maker? I know that doesn't equate to what you'd have to pay from a boutique anyway, but let's just say, do you think you would be able to get hold of a Labradorite pendant of this size, so probably looking at around about 9 carats, set into 925 sterling silver for £10? Doubtful. Very, very doubtful. You could actually offer that to your customer at £10, you'd still virtually treble your money. But again, please don't devalue your gemstone jewellery by, you know, undervaluing it or underpricing it. You have to charge appropriate pricing so that your customers actually understand the value of what you're offering. And here, this has to be some of the finest quality of Labradorite we've ever had. And that is saying something here at Jewellery Maker, because we know how popular it is. I would say you probably see at least 1 strand of Labradorite a day here on Jewellery Maker. Would people agree with that? Does that sound about right? Across the 3 shows, you're definitely going to have 1 strand of Labradorite. So we probably have 1 a day here on Jewellery Maker on average. Certainly nothing like this. I mean, when you're looking at a gemstone strand like this, Mark, that obviously is going to have done quite a lot of the work for you within your designs, you would think, with it being bezel set, with it being such a high carat weight per stone. What would you do with this particular strand? Have you got something in mind?
I would make bookmarks with it.
Bookmarks? Kind of completely off the wall direction. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Well, it's not silver on the back, is it? It's both sides you can see of the stone, isn't it?
Yes, no, yes, you can see both sides of the stone.
I've metallated a recent craft fair, and I think Laura Binding has made something similar. So if you can imagine a shepherd's crook.
Yes.
Okay, so you'd have the long handle of it, and then it would arch over the back, and then you get the little flick, as you would with a shepherd's hook on an earring. Okay. So you take a piece of you can even do 1.25 now, silver wire, make that shape with it, and then hammer it really, really, really flat.
Okay.
And then suspend one of those on the little shepherd's hook. So wherever you've got it in your book, it's going to dangle and it's going to get the light.
That is brilliant. So
it's a lovely idea.
Yeah, so you've created something a little bit different. So it's not just a traditional pendant, you're not just using it how you'd expect it to be used. And then I can see that being the perfect gift for so many people, but also the design's so intelligent because the gemstone itself is moving, and that's what you need with labradorite.
Like the Jewellery Maker black bracelet boxes, just imagine a nice silver wire, hammered, textured even, and then with a little hook with one of those hanging from a couple of jump rings.
That way as well, you can make 7 bookmarks. So you're maximising as well. You only need 1 gemstone, so you
look
be
amazing
able
in
to
the
create
box.
lots of different designs from one strand. I mean, the labradorescence is ridiculous. Like you said, even in the studio lights, we're having absolutely no issue showing that, and a real variation of colour tones there. You've got greens, blues, purples, golden tones, apricots. One of them's got a real spectrum of colours, almost like a little rainbow living inside it. Lots of people getting involved with this one. Even multi-buying this strand. So I imagine somebody like Wendy is selling her jewellery designs because she's felt the need to invest in 2 strands of this. But it's a profit maker. If you are selling your designs, it's one that's going to help you to achieve those higher price points. I mean, how much would you expect to charge for a bookmark, say?
£15?
10 to £15, say, as a gift at a craft fair. So there you go.
I mean, would you wear one of those, just on a simple piece of leather cord, one of those? Would you wear that? Definitely.
And if I wouldn't, I would say I wouldn't. But there's, I mean, you know, for a start, I like silver. I don't wear a lot of gold.
No.
And Labradorite, I think that's another reason Labradorite is so popular, because
I still love a lot of it.
Perfect for masculine designs.
Yeah.
We're going to have to leave that one with you, I'm afraid. We only had a limited number of this particular item, as you'd expect when you're sourcing Labradorite of this quality and setting each and every gemstone into 95 sterling silver. Quite a labour-intensive process and quite difficult to get hold of gemstones of this quality. It's not going to come across every single day. Yes, we're going to be able to get hold of maybe a different strand of labradorite every day, but to find labradorite of this quality that can be set into silver, that can be appreciated even in our studio lights, you can really start to tell the difference, if you like. This is, I suppose, your Jewellery Maker finest range, if you like, as opposed to your mid-ranged items. So there you go. This is absolutely out of this world. And as I say, even if you are in 2 minds, this is one for me that you've got to get home. You've got to see it in the flesh, because really the value of this gemstone is held within that optical effect, and you can't get a true appreciation for that until you get it home. It's going to be even greater when you see it in daylight. So congratulations to everybody coming through that, particularly people multi-buying, because that makes me feel like you have established yourself as a successful jewellery maker. So congratulations to everybody getting involved with that deal. There may be some remaining in stock, but of course act now to avoid disappointment. We'll leave that then and we'll move on. Absolutely, I want to show the garnets. Have a look at these. This is our Superstar Bites, coming up in about an hour and a half, so not long to wait. Again, when you talk about the intensity of colour, that's exactly what you've got here from Garnet. It's almost like a red wine tone. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think most people, when they think about Garnet, they associate it with sort of a bold red colour, if you like. But actually, Garnet is more prized for the purple hues that you actually find in it. So the more intense purple hues you find, the greater the value on a gemstone like Garnet. We're going to launch this strand for under £10 tonight, so we laugh in the face of high price points for gemstones, but that's only because we here at Jewellery Maker aim to offer you the best value on the market, and we're absolutely going to live up to that promise tonight. Of course, we've also got those sapphire nuggets that will be available for $6.95, so lots going on. Say again, sorry? Oh yeah, and we've also got a jewellery kit coming up in less than an hour. That's what Mark's working on now. So if my memory serves me right, ridiculous value from that kit. Is that? Yeah, I think so. Under £20. Just tell you. Let everybody know exactly what we've got in store tonight. Okay, we're going to start with another essential finding. Now, I was talking about these earlier. I was actually talking about the sterling silverite and how they've been used in micro macrame designs. These are almost like little donuts, I suppose. Gold plated sterling silver on this occasion though. They are 4x2mm in size. And I'm thinking that's a 2mm hole in the centre. You get 40 of these here. Once again, a wholesale opportunity. A chance to really take advantage of the value that we offer here at Jewellery Maker. And of course to work with very high-end precious metals. Talking about the Labradorite, for example, being set into 925 sterling silver. Here, talking about high-end on top of high-end because you've got the gold plating as well. I was reading an interesting article last week saying that gold is almost certainly going to become very, very rare because we haven't discovered any new deposits of gold in the last 2 years. And there was an estimation that if you took all of the gold that was available in the world, it would only create a 60-foot square block. If you can try and imagine that, 60-foot square isn't actually a great deal.
Well, it's about the size of an Olympic swimming pool.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. That's exactly right. So
that's it in the
one
entire
swimming
world?
pool, that's the whole world, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Now, I imagine that a lot of the information in this article was a little bit to do with, forecasting, because of course we don't know exactly what's going on. What they were saying actually is, the real essence of the article was that the only deposits of gold that are probably left are actually probably going to be found in areas that we've never excavated previously. So we're probably going to have to go, essentially, to the South Pole or somewhere like that and dig it all up to try and find it, which of course will be ridiculously expensive, hugely dangerous, and all of these things, even if they do find a deposit of gold, it's still going to drive the price up because of the finances that are going to have to be invested in locating new sources. Warren Buffett actually thinks that that's an overestimation. He was like, no, I think it's going to be more like 60 foot by 20 foot, the amount of gold. So as we move forward, as I say, I don't know what's going to happen, but the indications are that the price of gold is going to steadily increase. It always has. But it does fluctuate from day to day, of course. You know, different trading prices will affect the price of gold from one day to the next. However, the overall price of gold is almost certainly going to increase because we're just not finding any more deposits. You here at Jewellery Maker can have the same opportunities as jewellers. You can work with your precious metals. This is gold-plated sterling silver. These are your rondelle spacer beads. I think these are perfect, not just to break up a design, but actually as accents to a gemstone. Sometimes when you have got a very intense gemstone, you don't want to sort of bookend it with other gemstones in case they steal focus from the gemstone itself. But when you've got beautiful metallic tone like gold, it's a very traditional look, and it might actually help to bring the gemstone to life even more. Do you find that sometimes with the metallic tones?
So I would be really selfish with those, and I would make something for myself.
Nice.
There's a nice segment on the Mates for Men DVD where we use leather and metal beads and jump rings and that sort of thing. And I think one of them actually shows a bracelet using that sort of bead. And all it consisted of were, I don't know whether they've got them on the website anymore, but we used to stock, they were black rubber jump rings.
I do remember those. I haven't seen them because I looked for jump rings a few days ago.
But just alternating between one of those and a rubber jump ring on a simple leather cord.
That's another design that I would happily wear, actually, as a bloke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk to you about the Mates for Men DVD, Mark, because I'm hurt that I wasn't involved.
Sorry.
Just jealous. It's just jealousy. 40 pieces in total, a wholesale deal. Let's get that price on screen. $8.95 for gold-plated sterling silver. Who knows what you could potentially pay for gold-plated sterling silver in 2 years' time if we, carry on having these limitations in terms of finding new deposits with gold. Who knows what you could pay? So now is your chance to get hold of precious metals at very affordable prices. $8.95, and also these are the kind of items that are going to help you create a very, very professional finish. So $8.95, the perfect opportunity to stock up on this item, and wow, these are beautiful. And I'm just thinking, for anybody who got hold of that carnelian,
I ordered these this morning.
Oh, did you? So Mark's already got his coming his way.
Yeah.
These are the most intense cabochons I've seen from us here at Jewellery Maker. It's a real tangerine glow,
isn't it? It's nice
it?
I can see them, actually. I'm really pleased. He's not doing an offer on them tonight, is he?
I don't know, but I don't think so, because they're very limited in availability, and they've proved to be very, very popular. In fact, they were only launched a couple of weeks ago. So we're not doing any deals on these. The deal is start dialing the free phone number right now if you want to get hold of them. It's called dark orange, but I'd say it's more of a tangerine, just because that's the colour tone that I'd associate with the... I mean, they're literally, it's almost like they're glowing, isn't it?
You know what I'm going to say.
Tell me.
The amethyst.
Ah,
I don't think we've got it anymore, have we?
I haven't, but I've got a very similar colour tone.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they'll sit on that if I do it. Let's have a look at this. This is almost certainly going to be genius or not work at all. It worked.
Right.
That's a great idea. Do you know what? I think orange and purple might be a combination that not many designers consider, but as soon as you see it, it definitely works. It's almost like colour blocking, isn't it?
That's it.
Very on trend, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely. And there are so many of us guest designers now that have shown the viewers how to wrap cabochons, either with wire or macrame technique. So, I mean, I'd snap these up.
Or
how often do we get cabochons?
Well, we've been a little more successful over the last few months, but prior to that, we've actually struggled, haven't we? Yeah. And actually, I was saying that because new customers won't be aware of this, but I used to be the manager on the channel. I gave Mark his big break. You
did.
There you go. Got something right. Got Mark on screen. But when we first started to have cabochons, quite early on actually in Jewellery Maker, but you know what? Nobody wanted to know. These designs, I think, were a little bit stumped by them.
Yep.
Because they don't have a drill hole, and people were still thinking about classic beading techniques, I think, and so cabochons didn't have the popularity they have now, because it's not just our customers whose skill sets have developed through Jewellery Maker. I think all of the designers have really upped their game as we've expanded.
No,
everybody knows that it's just becoming a really competitive environment, isn't it? When you've got 12 hours of live TV a day and lots of designers working with similar gemstones, we don't want it to become formulaic or boring, so everybody's starting to think outside the box and find innovative ways to integrate these cuts into their designs. Cabochons just so happen to lend themselves brilliantly to a number of different disciplines. So your macrames, your wire work, your soutache, polymer clay. I've seen people setting them into polymer clay. So they tend to work in the more popular disciplines. Here you've got 5 in total. You've got one very, very large cabochon here, which is 50 by 40 mil. Then you've got 2, which are 40 by 30, and 2, which are 30 by 20. If you do want to get involved with this deal, I can tell you we only launched them a couple of weeks ago and they did prove to be very, very popular on our morning show to the Freeview audience, so unfortunately we only have a limited number available. But of course, if you want to get involved, start dialing that free phone number, put yourself to the front of the queue. You can always change your mind, you can always use your 30-day money-back guarantee, but I don't think too many people are going to be sending these back when they see the intensity of the colour that you get from these quartz cabochons. Here comes your price point for 5 different cabochons. We're just discussing, I can hear the producing director discussing the classification of dark orange. Okay. And I'm not 100% sure about that either, actually, guys. When I looked at it, I was thinking, I see it more as a sort of a bright orange, I think would have been a more
orange jelly.
Yeah, that's exactly orange, it. Yeah. Just have a look. You can see, hopefully, that intensive colour that you get there. I'll try and move my dark.
How deep are they? If you hold it on its side.
So if you look at the depth,
wow, that's good.
Quite good, isn't it?
Yeah,
It'll sit
really
quite proud in
nice.
the design.
Yeah.
Why did you actually buy these? What did you intend to do?
For macrame wrapping.
So would you use the largest one as a real feature pendant in a macrame
I think
necklace?
On the birthday show, one of our new designers, Deborah Rudge, made the most amazing necklace with micro macrame.
I remember that.
And whether it was this one or the red, used as
I think it was the red one, if I remember rightly.
With the black and the green.
Yes.
Oh, it's just an incredible piece of jewellery.
Gorgeous, yeah.
That was perfect for those.
And actually, despite the fact that it's the discipline, the technique that provides the look for that design, the intensity of the colour still shines through, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Linda's shown everyone how to soutache cabochons as well. So
yes,
I mean, that's another way of using it.
You think with maybe some carnelian 2mm rounds to frame it, something like that, with this one. We've actually got another colour tone, and we've got those for you right now. We've got the royal blue now. Again, almost has a glow from it, doesn't it? I love these.
I bought these as well this morning.
Oh, you got these as well. Actually, just thinking about it, I always think orange and blue is a great combination. So,
perfect, isn't it?
Oh, it works. It definitely works. Let's have a look at them together. We're only bringing you the blue cabochons as part of the deal. We just want to have a look at how they work together.
That's a deep blue, isn't it?
Yeah, very rich. I described it as a royal blue, but... And all of a sudden, as well, the orange cabochons are starting to have a bit more depth of colour, almost like the red tones are coming through there. Listen to Bruce. Bruce is like, this is one for your stash box. You can't ignore this opportunity. You've got to get it home, have them to one side.
He's right.
Direct to Bruce. I tell you what, they're all after my job today. Bruce just said, and then when inspiration comes, you're armed and ready. Which is exactly right, really. Stock up on the items when you see them. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong, Bruce. I like it. Do you know what? There's like little speckles within the gemstone. It almost looks like a sort of a clear night sky. You can't see that probably through the screen, but they're just... Oh yes, I think I've got it. You see? It's like the little twinkle of a star lit sky. Starry, starry night.
You're quite romantic at heart, aren't you?
I am, of course. I'm a romantic man. But you know what? I think that everybody really does have, you know, the emotive side, and does tend to get ignited when you're looking at things like this. You know, picturesque scenery. Everyone does get moved by it, don't they?
Oh, yes.
And then, I don't know. There's something very mystical about gemstones. It just starts to evoke imagery to me when I hold them in my hands. I think most people feel like that. That's why I always advise people to get the gemstone home, because they tend to actually make you feel a certain way. That's the beauty of working with genuine gemstones as opposed to synthetics. For me, that's just my opinion. Again, you've got 5 cabochons here in the same variation of sizes, so 50 by 40, 40 by 30, and 30 by 20. Here we go. Now Bruce is coming up with creative jewellery designs. He's saying, do you know what I'm thinking? Brooches.
Yes.
And do you know what? He's on fire. He just said it's not my creativity, it's the gemstones. They're speaking to me. That's what he says. He just feels inspired by the gemstones, by these cabochons in particular.
Thank you.
Director Bruce on fire this evening. Do you know what? Soutache brooch, that would work perfectly actually,
Yeah,
Bruce.
yeah.
You're a genius, man. Well, now you've got to feel worried as well, Mark. He's after your job now. He's coming up with the designs. $8.95 for 5 cabochons there. Again, pretty incredible value when you think about what you're getting. So, we've been talking about amethyst a fair bit this evening. It is in fact Mark's birthstone. And we've been talking about the regal, intense purple tones, but as I rightly said earlier on, we do have a huge variety of amethysts available here at Jewellery Maker. And have a look at these. It's been classified as pink amethyst. I think I prefer lavender as the classification here, because when you think of a pink gemstone, you want that very feminine pastel tone. These have, I would say most of them have a little bit of a purple tone to them as well. So I'd say lavender amethyst is more accurate, personally. 90 carats in total. Now these are top drilled drops, but they're faceted across the surface of the gemstone, and they actually come to a point. Hopefully you can see that. So they are now titled chandelier drops. So I can understand that, because there is a slight difference here in that these have been faceted and cut to a point at the end of the droplet. They range in size from 9x5 to 15x6 mil. And I think whenever we talk about top drilled drops, we almost instinctively think of those matching sets of jewellery, so a pendant and the matching droplet earrings. But actually I've seen a great idea. I think it might have been you actually, Matt. I saw doing it. You sort of turned that on its head and set them proud in a macrame ring.
They're fantastic.
They look amazing. It almost looks like
it's like a brilliant cut diamond and a solitaire ring.
Exactly right. Yeah, I was going to say a very traditional jewellery set in that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of thing you'd see in like a cartoon, if you like.
Yes,
you know, if someone was going to draw a diamond ring, that's the setting you'd have. And so, lots of inspiration from our expert designers, particularly good in your macrame designs. Could you scale that up? Because obviously that works in a ring, but could
Bracelet,
you potentially do that in a bracelet?
Yep. You need to be careful that you wouldn't have the stones under the wrist.
Yes.
Because you do want to hit them every time you put your wrist on the...
In a way that's good, because you only need half the number of gemstones.
No, you're right, you don't need 5.
Yeah.
Just 5 along the top of the wrist there. It looks stunning.
That would look really cool, actually. That would be quite
or
contemporary.
around the ankle on an anklet, because you could have them all the way
That's
around.
then you could do it all the way around.
Yeah.
There you go. So another way to use your top drill drops within your designs, particularly if you are somebody who's interested in macrame, for example. 90 carats in total. I think we've reclassified this as lavender amethyst, so everybody's got an idea of the exact colour tone that you're going to get here. And let's have a look at the price you should be paying for this Gems of Distinction strand. It does come from our Gems of Distinction range, which represents the highest quality we can source for you, found by our Indian buying office. They're based in Jaipur, which is the premier location for gemstone trading. You know, no matter where people source their gemstones, they tend to send them to India for trading, because, you know, people in the know, savvy gemstone buyers, that's where they go to do their gemstone trading. $14.95 is the current price on our website, but for the next 60 minutes we are going to provide everybody with an exclusive price reduction. $8.95, under £10 now for 90 carats of lavender amethyst. Oh, I've just read something interesting that I never knew. This was a personal favourite gemstone of Catherine the Great.
She had it on a breastplate when she went into battle.
I have actually heard that before, but I never really, it never resonated with me until now. So yeah, that's really interesting. So again, goes to show the importance for me of working with genuine gemstones, because they do have this very deep heritage attached to them, don't they? And so I think that provides your jewellery designs with, you know, a little something extra, real prestige attached to a luxury item like, for example, I'm thinking of that bracelet design now. I'm thinking those amethysts, you only need 5 gemstones to create quite a contemporary but very impacting piece of jewellery. You can imagine that as evening wear, really.
And the drill hole is quite a way down from the point as well.
That's exactly right, yeah. So that
really
gives you a little bit of clearance, doesn't it?
Yeah. Excellent.
That's perfect. $8.95 is a clearance price, but only available for the next 60 minutes. So if you do want to take advantage of this deal, dial that free phone number right now to get involved. Or if you want to shop online, you can click to buy now at JewelleryMaker.com. I'll leave that one. And, oh wow. This is such a popular gemstone here at Jewellery Maker. And these are real irregular cuts, very organic feel. It's interesting because once again, it's the kind of gemstone that you think a master jeweller would shine away from, but as bespoke jewellery makers, we're looking for something like this that is different. Every stone's completely individual. And the other thing that I love about solar quartz is the fact that they've actually formed from an imperfection, a little inclusion, and the sort of frame, the inclusion itself, the gemstone does. So the focal point of the gemstone becomes the imperfection, if you like. I think that again is quite a sort of a romantic ideal, really. 140 carats in total. And well, I think the reason that a lot of expert designers here at Jewellery Maker have been very fond of the solar quartz is that it almost provides your design with texture because of the crystal formation inside the gemstone. Have a look here. Can you see that? Pretty gorgeous. Something very, very different. This particular gemstone would work well in one of those sort of bib necklace designs because it would mirror the shape of the whole piece, this particular gemstone. You have got irregularities in the shapes across the strands, so they range in size from 17 by 12 to 28 by 17, but I think that irregularity combined with the actual crystal formation within your solar quartz is going to give your designs a very organic feel and look. Got 5 gemstones on this particular strand, giving you 140 carats in total, but we only have a limited number available left in stock. Here comes your price. $7.95. Wow. I mean, every single one of these is large enough to be used as a pendant. Do you like solar quartz? You fond of this?
It's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Don't we? And we have it dyed as well sometimes. So is that,
Yeah,
or is that tourmaline sort of quartz, isn't it?
No, solar quartz. I had a couple of dyed varieties last week. You had the blue one.
Yes, which
and
is stunning.
Sam, who's our regular tech up here,
Yeah.
she's a bit of a jewellery maker. She's obsessed with blue solar quartz.
But I think you're right. I mean, for pendant wrapping, and I mean, those would make really nice brooches. You know, the start point for a really elaborate brooch.
I love that you do get this sort of focal point in the gemstone. It draws your eye into the gemstone itself. It's quite an intense gemstone ultimately because you can see, as I say, it's formed from a little imperfection and the whole structure of the gemstone forms around that little imperfection. I love it. I love this gemstone. Look at that. Wow. Do you know what? This is a kind of gemstone as well that I think you would associate with, you know, the more holistic approach to gemstones, if you like. So people who are interested in the energy surrounding a gemstone and crystal healing, things like that. This is the kind of gemstone that feeds into those kind of things, I think. I don't know a great deal about that. I wouldn't suggest you buy it for those reasons, but I know that there are a lot of jewellery makers out there who are interested in that side of things, and I imagine solar quartz is, well, it seems to invoke those kind of ideals for me. But as I said, I don't know anything about it, so it'd be difficult for me to really talk about that in depth. $7.95 right now for 140 carats of solar quartz. And I've been so engrossed in that strand of solar quartz that we've actually gone past star buy time. So let's do a star buy. Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. Time for another star buy, and once again we've created a discount bundle. So we've bundled 3 strands of gemstones together so that we can provide you with a wholesale deal. And this is interesting because this has been put together around the cut of the gemstone. Now, there's a few different cuts here at Jewellery Maker that tend to be more popular than others, because I think certain cuts lend themselves to very specific styles of jewellery making. Others are more generic and they work across the board. For example, your rounds or your top drill drops. And that's what we've got here. I love the colour combination as well. Very, well, actually, I shouldn't say that, because you've got a very intense multicoloured strand, you've got a very earthy colour strand, and then you've got tiger's eye. Have a look at this. So you've got the golden tones here from top drill drops to tiger's eye. These are all the same size, aren't they? They're all 10 by 8 mil drops. 140 carats of golden tiger's eye here, and there you've got the optical effect, that chatoyancy we associate with the gemstone. Just have a look. There we go, you can see it. Gorgeous. So that's your golden tiger's eye. As I say, you've got the earthy colours here from your jasper. That's a beautiful combination with the golds and the greens. 10 by 8 mil again, this time 170 carats of jasper. Perfect for jewellery makers, because just have a look at the variation of colours that you've got on this strand. So you've got those sort of lagoon greens, and then you've got these purple tones, aubergines, even a bit of sky blue there. Lots of design scope from one strand there. And then just have a look at this. This is going to lift it a little. Very intense, almost confectionery style colours here, I would say, because you've got the lemons, you've got the greens, the oranges, the blues. And there's something quite fun about this strand. These are your multicoloured agates. We've just been talking about how popular agate is earlier in the show. Mark was saying that he did an agate only stall, so kept his prices lower, more affordable. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having a real range of gemstones that you work with, and that allows you to create a more eclectic price banding, if you like, for your jewellery designs. This is your drop special, all 10 by 8 mil drops. And we've already had a bit of inspiration from Mark. He's taken drops in a new direction. And I knew that because I was watching one of Mark's morning shows one day, and he's creating a macrame ring where he sat these droplets sitting up proud. I think it looks really gorgeous. Beautiful combination here of colour tones as well, so the perfect way really to increase your gemstone stash. And you know that all of the gemstones are going to work together because they're all the same size. Let's have a look at our star buy price for these 3 strands of drops. It's £11.95 again, under £4 a strand. And I believe somebody sent a question in for you, Mark, if you don't mind me interrupting you again. What's the question then? Okay, so it was relating to the top drilled drops of amethyst that we brought you earlier in the show. Can you do a macrame design with the top drilled drops? That's exactly what I was saying that I actually learnt from Mark, which is the way you've taken the drops in a new direction, wasn't it?
Because what you'll find is when especially if you're using maybe a 0.6 wire, once you do your first macrame knots, you get the knot formation as you're doing a normal piece of macrame with wire, and the points of the gemstones sit nice and snugly in those knots. Yeah. And once they're pulled really tight with that wire, they don't move at all. They're really wedged in there. And that's why I was mentioning the point where the drill hole was. Yes. From the point. It's quite significant. It's
you
quite
get that little bit of clearance, so you can literally sit it into.
So what you'll get the nice rounded points settling on the wrist, which is really nice. Yep. And then you get the drops pointing upwards, so you get in effect that sort of brilliant diamond solitaire ring look. Exactly. Yes. And as I said, you wouldn't put anything underneath because you wouldn't want to damage them from continually putting your wrist. But
you could do that on an anklet. Yeah. Like you were saying.
Excuse my really awful diagram, but that's another way of using these particular drops. The picture on the left with just the rounds. That's straightforward. Yes, so it'll be on your Yeah, on your right.
Yes.
That's how the straightforward macrame would be. So you'd cage the round beads.
One.
So the other one is a way of using. So instead of using your working strands to tie the knots, you'd use them to cage the beads. So you'd use those little holes at the ends of the drops to put the beads, the beading thread or the wire through. So you'd have 2 rows instead of a row down the bottom. They look amazing with those particular strands you've got there. For gents jewellery as well, that tiger's eye strand.
Yeah,
you could
that's
get
actually
a
the
couple
one
of
that
bracelets out of that.
They're taking my fancy actually
Yeah.
to the golden tiger's eye. I suppose, traditionally, masculine jewellery does tend to be a bit more subtle, doesn't it, in terms of the colour tones, and so this could be perfect. But that's the beauty of investing in one of our bundles, because you get a huge variety of gemstones here, all the same cut, but you've got your earthy colours, your very vibrant colours, and then your golden tones there as well. $11.95. This is proving to be very, very popular with jewellery makers out there. In fact, probably about half the people that have come through have taken 2 of these. So well done, Dean. You've got 2. Catherine, you've got 2. Namala, you've got 2. That's a beautiful name. John, you've got 2. Lots and lots of people multi-buying this strand because of the value it offers you. Less than £4 a strand, and you've got a lot of gemstones on every single strand there. We are going to have to leave that one because we've got a little bit over on that star buy, and we've got another one to bring you in about 10 minutes time. If you wonder why I'm looking at it, it's because there's a clock up there, so I'm not just being strange.
That's good.
Yeah, you have to bend even further than me, Mark, because you're very tall. How tall are you, Mark?
6'2".
6'2". Okay. I feel like I'm really small when I'm with my friends, because I was at this wedding yesterday, and a lot of my friends are over 6'5".
Oh my gosh.
There's about 6 of them, and so I'm standing there and I'm like, hi, looking up at everyone. Well, I'm about 5'10", 5'11". Oh yeah, Liam's like, it must be so hard being only 5'11". How tall are you? About 5'5". My dad used to be 5'4", and I was always the smallest in my year at school, and I was always petrified that I was going to be tiny my whole life. Like, oh, I'm going to be 5'4". But
I've been this height since I was 11.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
I had a massive growth spurt and then stopped, and that was it.
That's early to shoot up, isn't it?
Yeah, 11.
But it does have, it was the other way for me. I was like the smallest person all through school. I went to college, I woke up when I was 17 and I'd grown half a foot. I was like, yes, I'm taller. I'm not the shortest person in the year. Let's get some more deals into this show. Have a look at this. Rough cut nuggets here of Larimar. This could be right up your street.
Rough cut. I haven't seen that before.
No, me neither. Very, very organic feel to these. They've only been on the show once previously before tonight. Right. So that was on a morning show. So potentially the late show customers have never seen this strand, some of them. I love Larimar. Something very, for me, exotic really about the gemstone. It actually has quite a sort of Caribbean-like feel to it. It's found in the Dominican Republic. It was only discovered in the 1970s. So again, one of those gemstones that you can be quite confident that it has been ethically sourced, because there just hasn't been the time for their sort of the more dubious trade links to build up, which you see in so many other gemstones. And the thing about this gemstone is, as a result of where it's found in the Dominican Republic, tends to be very popular in sort of holiday jewellery, if you like. So I know that on cruise liners, for example, selling luxury jewellery tends to be quite big business on cruise liners. Of course, you've got a sort of captive audience, if you like, because they're going to have to throw themselves overboard to get away from you. But also, people, when they have spent a lot of money to go on sort of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, like going on a cruise, for example, it might be that they're in the market to invest in very luxurious jewellery, and that's why Larimar tends to be used heavily in that kind of setting. As a result, we don't see it every day here on Jewellery Maker. It's not a heavily available gemstone. And actually, the last time I was presenting Larimar, I did tell everybody the story about when it was originally launched on Gems TV. I was a producer on the channel at the time. I was given the privilege of doing the first ever launch of Larimar on Gems TV. And the hour was over after 45 minutes. Didn't even make it to the end of the hour because every single design sold out so quickly on screen that I didn't have enough jewellery to get us through a whole hour. So, you know, people who are knowledgeable about jewellery and gemstones do tend to favour this. It might be one of those gemstones that people have seen when they've been in a more exotic location, maybe thought, oh, I better not spend all my euros on a Larimar jewellery. We need it for the meals, for the week or what have you. But then, you know, it's something that stays in people's minds. They think, I wish I'd bought that Larimar necklace when I was in, wherever it is, Dominican Republic. Okay, so we were able to bring Larimar this morning. So this is 2 Larimar opportunities in one day on Jewellery Maker. That could be a first. I don't see a lot of Larimar. 75 carats in total here, and as Mark noticed, we don't see these sort of rough cut nuggets very often. It's going to give you a very organic feel to your designs, and of course, if anybody is at home and they're a little bit intimidated by working with more of the organic cuts rather than the sort of calibrated sizes, you know what to do. Add the Chips and Nuggets DVD to your order. It is in fact hosted by my good friend Mark Smith. I should say, I was saying about this on Thursday. Were you watching on Thursday night, Matt?
No.
Oh, good.
We were half up a mountain.
I was, oh, of course you were. You were away, weren't you? Let's get the price on screen for these Larimar nuggets because they're already flying out the door. Wow, $9.95. I believe the droplets we brought you this morning were $29.95. So that gives you an idea of what we're doing here at Jewellery Maker. We try to have a variety of each gemstone for everybody's price bracket. And were they drops? Were they top drill drops of Larimar this morning? I think for $29.95. So same carat weight, 75 carats, but instead here we've got the more organic variety, these rough cut nuggets, perfect for $9.95. Basically, Mark, what I was saying on Thursday night when we were promoting tonight's show, because of course we were offering everybody the Sapphire to get it in advance. Yep. And I was saying the same thing, because of course you've got the organic cut of the Sapphires, and actually now that you see them together, have a look at this. Midnight blues and sky blues works perfectly. What I was actually saying is that, am I right in thinking, I think this is how you told me, you were a little bit dubious about working with the chips and nuggets, and so because of that, that's why you made it a focus, so that you could integrate them into your designs.
And I love it.
That's the best way to sort of adopt new skills as a jewellery maker. Take yourself out of your comfort zone, work with things that you are intimidated by, and you're always going to...
But I think it helps working with gemstones. I think that's what clinches it, isn't it?
I think so. Well, because for me, I always think that, you know, they do evoke certain emotions in people, and so it's always easier to work with something that you have that attachment to, or that make you feel a certain way. $9.95. I should just say you only get the Larimar now, although we are going to give you an opportunity to own this Sapphire in about half an hour's time. Not long to wait. I can't believe that we can offer Larimar for $9.95. I've seen 4-figure sums for Larimar jewellery in the past. Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
Okay, we're going to move on, and while we're talking about rough cut nuggets, oh, this is one of my favourite gemstones, because I'm a bit girly when it comes to gemstones. How about this? I'll tell you what, if you've just got hold of the Larimar and you intend to get the Sapphire,
that's nice.
That's a good combo, isn't it? See, I'm quite good at putting the colour combinations together. I just can't create the finish I want on my jewellery. Love, love, love this gemstone. And here at the Genuine Gemstone Company, we do have a very special relationship with this gemstone. We actually own the largest cut morganite in the world. It is very, very impressive. It's around about, I think it's around about 900 carats of morganite. And the interesting thing about morganite is, for me, I personally think that it's one of those gemstones that you don't have to make a compromise with. The colour tone that you see within morganite tends to be built up from the inclusions. So a more heavily included morganite is going to offer you more of that beautiful feminine pastel pink. Less included morganite, it's going to offer you greater clarity. So you can't lose with this gemstone. That's the way I look at it. 80 carats in total here, and I've actually been working on a chainmail design where I use, it's not exactly this strand, but it's very similar, rough cut morganite. What I've got is, you'll like this, man. This is one of my designs. So it's a rose gold chainmail, and then a rough cut nugget hanging down, and then a faceted top drill drop, and then a rough cut top drill drop, and then the largest top drill drop as the sort of centerpiece. So it's I'm sort of trying to tell a story on the design. So
are we going to get to see this?
Yes, definitely. Although this month has been a little bit busy for me with weddings non-stop, and so I haven't actually finished it. But I'm going to finish it now that May is out of the way, and I'll bring it on screen. But do you like that idea? Telling a little narrative, saying where the gemstones are coming from, and then the finish, right? If Mark thinks it's all right, then I'm pleased. Oh, excuse me. Okay, these nuggets range in size from 8x4 to 14x10, and here comes your price point. $9.95. I was surprised when the Larimar was $9.95, but morganite, I mean, difficult to get hold of Larimar just because it tends to be snapped up by certain jewellery makers. But morganite is a gemstone that was exclusively sold by Tiffany's when it was first discovered. So it already has that level of prestige attached to it. It's already a very sought after gemstone, because I think anything that is attached to, you know, one of those iconic jewellery brands like Tiffany's tends to hold a place in a lot of ladies' hearts, doesn't it? To own morganite does have a little ring to it, doesn't it? It does have something special about it. $9.95 for 80 carats. And I'll tell you what, you can use my idea. Don't think anybody wants to. If you do need some inspiration of how to work with your chips and nuggets, as I say, you can add Mark's Chips and Nuggets DVD to your order for as little as $4.95, and I think there's 5 or 6 different projects on that DVD. 6 on that one, yep. So there you go, lots of inspiration. $9.95 for morganite, and just have a look at the colour saturation here. Very, very rich pastel pink tone. You know, lots of people out there, if they are creating beautiful jewelry designs, are, you know, a bit girly like me, and love to work with these feminine gemstones. That is a ridiculous price point, you know, $9.95 for morganite. I realise it's rough cut nuggets, but I actually prefer that because you've got lots of texture. Okay, we've got to move on. Of course, we are going to go to a quick break, because when we return, we're going to give everybody the opportunity to add one of our jewellery kits to their order, and we're even going to get some inspiration from Mark. Okay, let's go to a break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
Jewellery Maker ships to the following countries. We offer 2 delivery services, standard and premium. So wherever you are in the world, Jewellery Maker are never far away.
Join Jewellery Maker and specialist guest designer Debbie Bulford for a fun and relaxing day discovering the addictive appeal of chainmail. This workshop is ideal for beginners and will introduce the fundamentals of this art form. You will be guided through a range of beginners' weaves and learn how to create your own Byzantine bracelet and earring set. The full course includes a pack of 200 jump rings, a toggle clasp, a pair of shepherd hook earrings, the chainmail tutorial DVD, use of all relevant tools, a buffet style lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studio and a chance to meet the presenters, and take a visit to our gem museum. All this for just $74.95. For more information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655. Jewellery Maker, bringing out the designer in you.
Join guest designer and polymer clay expert Debbie Bulford for our Extruder DVD. Debbie will guide you through a variety of techniques, including how to create geometric patterns, the soutache and lace look, and much more. To get your hands on a copy, simply contact our call centre. Get creative with Jewellery Maker. If you love classic jewellery, then why not come and join guest designer Gemma Crow on our vintage workshop. Gemma will guide you through various beading and wirework techniques which will inspire you to create timeless designs from a bygone era. The full course includes a selection of wire, a selection of findings and charms, a bead scoop, use of all relevant tools and equipment, a buffet lunch and refreshments, a tour of the studio and a visit to our Gemstone museum. All of this for just $69.95. Have a blast from the past and take home some amazing designs. For further information, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. I'm going straight into a star buy opportunity. I'm now going to give everybody the chance to get hold of a rather beautiful kit. Now, our jewellery making kits are really the concept the whole channel was launched off the back of, and the idea is that our kits have everything you need to create a beautiful set of jewellery, or of course to stock up on all the essentials you need if you are already an established jewellery maker. So if this is going to be your first purchase, if this is the way you're going to get up and running with the hobby, don't forget your first purchase you will receive your Get Started booklet and DVD. Got about an hour's worth of the most basic techniques you'll need to get started with the hobby, and it won't be long before you're starting to integrate other disciplines into your jewellery designs. But this is just the perfect way to get started, and we tend to have, you know, just attaching a clasp or knotting elastic. As I say, the most basic techniques you need to get started. On top of that, we also have these very intense gemstones this evening. Now, was this kit specifically designed for Mark by any chance? Thought it must have been. Have a look at these. Just been having a look at lots of different organic chips and nugget strands in terms of the Larimar and the, what was the other one we had? Morganite, of course, that was it. Yeah, my favourite. I should have been able to remember that. Tell I had a late night, can't you? So yeah, so we've just been thinking about that and trying to imagine integrating these more organic cuts into our designs, and here we have the perfect selection for me because, of course, we looked earlier at the orange and blue cabochons together as well. We're talking about what a fantastic combination it was. In fact, it's been a bit of a theme of the show, hasn't it? Because we also had the carnelian and the amethyst, so purple and orange, the colour combination for this evening's show. My producer says, oh, you can expect to see a few bundles if Mark's advocating that colour combination. He's writing it down now, orange and purple.
Well, I have to put it all down to Cheryl Cole. Obviously, she started the whole thing off.
Oh, so yeah, so what, is she responsible for colour blocking?
She's responsible for the purple and orange.
Was it a dress or something?
No, it was her first show for the America's Got Talent.
Oh right, yeah, that
thing.
went well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what she wore. That's what she wore, colour blocked, and it just, I just love the combination.
Took off.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely works. I'm now orange and purple's biggest fan. But have a look at these gemstones as well, because they're really interesting. You've got 70 carats of fire opal here. Again, you've got that slight variation across the strands. So you've got the golden hues leading into those apricots, then the tangerines, all the way up to those rich cherry reds that you get in fire opal. Then you've got 80 carats of iolite. Now these have been described as small nuggets, but they're certainly a lot larger than I'm used to seeing in nuggets. I would say large nuggets, if anything, if I'm honest with you. They range from 8x6 up to 14x8. And then this is the perfect complement to the intense violets that you get from your iolite. these very pale sort of powder blues, if you like. And there we're looking at 170 carats of blue chalcedony. Do you know what? I always say this when we look at a variety of chalcedony of this colour tone, but it's just because it's true. It really reminds me of blue lace agate.
I thought it was.
There you go, yeah, it's got a very similar
Yes.
colour tone and banding as well. So, you know, blue lace agate, probably, I would say, the most expensive variety of agate, and so this is the perfect substitute if you can't get hold of that, because it looks so similar. There you go, even our expert designer thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
And actually, this is a very long strand. I'm thinking it's going to be about 82 centimetres. Tend to be over 80 centimetres, don't they, the double stranders? So, how much, sorry? Oh, right, sorry, I thought you just said length. Okay, well, I'm guessing it's got to be at least 80 centimetres, so you're getting a lot of gemstones on that particular strand. So 3 strands of gemstones, very, very complementary, because you've got the sort of powder blue or the sky blue, perfectly offsetting the intense violet tones from the highlight, and then we all know, well, we all know now, the orange and purple, very prominent combination right now, very on trend, and we know why, thanks to Cheryl Cole's colour blocking. So there you go. Essentially, more like getting 4 strands here, because this is twice the length of a traditional strand here in Jewellery Maker. So you've got 3 strands, but you're the equivalent of 4 strands worth of gemstones. Now, whenever you're working with these sort of more vivid colour tones, if you like, I always think gold coloured findings work perfectly with it. And here we've got the gold plated copper. You get 115 pieces. I love the fact that we do these finding packs now, because when I first started as a manager on the channel, we only had 1 findings offer, 1 pack. I think it was 25 pieces or 26 pieces of sterling silver. But as we've expanded as jewellery makers, as we've expanded as a channel, try to vary what we offer you in terms of our findings packs, and here we've got 115 pieces. I imagine it's a little bit limiting only having 25 pieces of silver, but now with 115 pieces of your gold plated copper, you've got a lot going on here, including 3 different kinds of head pins, one of which are very, very useful because they're fine enough to go through the smaller drill holes. So your high-end rondells, like gems of distinction stones, you can get those finer head pins through it. On top of that, you've got a metre of chain, you've got this detailed toggle clasp, spacer beads, crimp bead covers, shepherd hooks, and your ribbon cord endings. So I know that there'll be a lot of macrame fans watching tonight, so they'll definitely need to stock up on their ribbon cord endings whenever possible, because again, it's all to do with the finish that you can, well, create. Once you've created a macrame design, perhaps, the ribbon cord endings give you that professional finish. That's the way I always see it. You also get your threading materials. You get 6 meters of elastic, 80 meters of monofilament, and 50 meters of your gold colored beading thread on this particular kit. Everything you need to get started with the hobby, or increase your stash of findings, gemstones, and threading materials if you are already an established jewellery maker. And tonight, we are going to offer you a rather ridiculous price point, very economical way to get started with the hobby. We're going to take this kit under £20 this evening, $19.95. Now, if you were to buy all of these items individually from our website, it would cost you over £30, £32.25, which already represents pretty incredible value when you consider the carat weight that you're getting of the gemstones, as well as the gold plated copper findings. And I hear from our expert designers that the copper findings are quite useful because they're quite malleable, but they're still a little harder than the silver, so you can work them a little more than you can our silver findings without the risk of damaging the findings, if you like. But of course, you've got the very opulent finish from the gold plating here as well. This is proving to be very, very popular. Oh wow, we were just talking about purples and golds together. Love this design. Love it. What was the sort of first?
It was the earrings.
You went to? The earrings.
Well, I thought it was carnelian, so I'm pleasantly surprised it's fire opal.
Yeah.
That's, and again, an amazing amazing bonus in the kit. It's
Maybe
beautiful,
you
it's
can
beautiful.
either put me right or back me up on this. But I always think like the opportunity to work with something like fire opal could be quite interesting, because obviously everybody has an idea in their mind of what opal should look like, and it's quite a traditionally recognised gemstone. People tend to have some sort of emotional attachment when it comes to opal, but they might not even be aware that there are other varieties available. And so do you find that when you work with alternative varieties of gemstones, that can almost lead to sales because you're educating?
Well, absolutely. I mean, and the perfect example of that is amethyst.
Right, yeah.
You know, not only do we, I was talking about earlier, not only do we now do purple, which everyone knows, I mean, the purple and the most popular gemstone, but it comes in pink and greens and yellows and all sorts of colours. So the same sort of thing for opal. I mean, I didn't realise till joining Jewellery Maker that there were other colour opals. Yeah,
and
I just thought it was the, you know, the sort of the milky clear colour with the shots of colours and the pinfire in. So no, it's amazing. And this is a really popular strand actually, the fire opal.
I think it looks particularly good in this style with the organic finish, because you've got that very intense colour. I mean, fire opal is essentially lava that's cooled so quickly that it's been able to retain those sort of fiery colours that you get. Well, it just looks like a volcanic eruption, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it
you're right.
Really retains that intensity, I find. I love fire opal. I'm surprised that it's not even more popular than it is.
No.
I always expect it just to fly out the door because it's so amazing. But here you've sort of mix and match the sky blue tones.
And I've kept the gold theme running all the way through it. So I just think the iolite, wasn't it?
Iolite, yes.
Just amazing.
It looks incredible with the gold.
As well as the silver and rose gold, it would have the same sort of look.
It works with all of them, doesn't it? I love the...
It's just so simple. I mean, all I've done is cut little segments of 5 links out of the chain and just threaded the thread through to make little spacer beads in between.
That's good. Would that provide you with a little bit of movement when you design, with the links move? I see. I always think that jewellery designers need to have a little bit of movement so that you can appreciate the design. Oh, I'm getting told off for picking that up. They're like, look with your eyes, not your hands. They just framed it up and then I picked it up because I like it. I'm a magpie, like all people interested in gemology and jewellery. As soon as you see something you like, you have to touch, don't
absolutely.
you?
No,
it's one of them.
That's right.
But actually, with this kit, quite nice to feel the gemstones because there's so much texture, very organic finish, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's really nice.
So do you think this would be a good way for people to get started with jewellery?
With the whole chips and nuggets, I mean, it's fantastic because you've got the small nuggets for this one here, and then you've got the medium, and then I think these are the large nuggets with the fire opal. So you've got pretty much 3 different sizes. Some of them are enormous on that strand.
Oh, we've received a question from a viewer.
Oh, okay.
What's the question? Is it easy to achieve the twist that you've created on the necklace design with these chalcedony?
I've actually cheated a bit on this.
Have you used the trick that Linda showed me, where you twist it around, it just does it itself? Is that right?
No. This is a little tip. I'll do it on the overhead so you can see.
Okay.
Before I show you that, if we're looking on the overhead, this is what I've got left. I've only used 8 of the fire opal, and I've still got a decent necklace amount of the blue and massive wedge of the iolite as well. All the findings, half the chain. So I've only just.
Well, that's impressive as well, because the pieces you've created are very gem heavy.
Yes.
Like this necklace, for example, has got a lot of gemstones in it, and Mark says still got enough chalcedony to make another necklace if you wanted to. So so let's see your little cheat then. That's a good one.
This is a question that I get asked all the time when I'm on the workshops, that people do their plaited necklaces, which is on the DVD, and after a while of use, it suddenly unravels, and you have 3 separate strands. Okay. And lots of viewers are taking the necklace apart at one end and then replaiting it. Okay, you don't do that.
That's very labour intensive to start all over again. Yeah.
So what I'll do, I'll just open this up here. So it's 3 separate pieces. And this is so simple. So if you do have a necklace that in effect has unplaited, okay, so you've got 3 separate pieces. Okay, you've got 3. You've got a middle, a left and a right. So you take the right through the middle of the left 2, like so. Okay, you can see it starting to form. And then you take the left through the right 2 and pull it through. And you just keep going, right, middle 2, left, middle 2, right, middle 2, and you start getting that plait reforming again. Simple as that. So if you can imagine you've got an 18-inch necklace that's unraveled into 3, right over the middle 2,
right,
left over the middle 2, right over the middle 2, left over the middle 2. So it's in effect you're plaiting,
yes,
but with one completed piece instead of 3 separate pieces.
Okay.
And you'll find that it'll re-plait all on itself, all on its own.
So it's actually very easy to achieve, and if it does unravel, don't start again.
Don't undo one end and replait it. Just do the right hand strand through the centre of the 2 left cords, and then the left one through the centre of the right, and just keep.
Okay, that has actually made perfect sense to me, so I imagine all the jewellery makers at home definitely understand it. Yeah. One thing I just wanted to make everyone aware is we are going to come back over to Mark's desk in about 20 minutes time to see what he's done with these beautiful blue sapphires. All I was going to say is it would go perfectly with this kit.
It would be amazing with that kit, actually.
I mean,
imagine using it with the necklace. Just be beautiful, wouldn't it? So
we are going to give everybody another opportunity to own the sapphires in around about, what should we say, 15 minutes time. And it was $6.95. Basically, everybody already knows that, and we're going to honour that launch price in, as I said, about 15 minutes to go. Thank you so much, Mark.
Pleasure.
Your designs are amazing, as always, and helped everybody out there with a little tip as well. That's perfect. We are going to move on. As I say, we've got a lot to fit in before we give you the chance to own that sapphire. And don't forget, coming up in half an hour, will be our superstar buy. Wow, time really does fly when you're having fun. Look at this. I'm just going to move out of the way because I think my jumper's toning down the colour a little bit. It looks very, very deep and rich, and it is, but I just want that sort of red and purple hue to come through as well, because you've got gorgeous clarity on these garnets. It's going to be launched this evening at under £10, an exclusive launch price here on Jewellery Maker. And yes, we've been behaving badly all night. It's been men behaving badly. In fact, it's an all-male crew as well as Mark and I here.
That doesn't happen very often, does it? No.
All the blokes are here tonight. Sorry, my earpiece just jumped up my ear. Oh, number 1. The one over here. Is this the sticky bead mat that Mark was getting so excited about upstairs?
I've never seen this.
We haven't brought this to you before, our team, sorry, on the late show. And did you say you hadn't seen it?
No, I hadn't seen it. No.
I'm really intrigued by this. How is the sort of stickiness created, if you like? Rinse and dry fresh, sticky surface. Yeah, it's got a sort of adhesive surface, basically. No residue. Oh, yes. Are you reading off the back of this? Because that's what it says here, no adhesive. Oh, it's not an adhesive. There's no sticky residue. It's a special creation from the Beadsmith company. And it is being shot. It's a bead mat and a bead board, because things stick to it. I really want to understand how it... The backing on the other side should be left in place to keep the sticky surface clean. Okay. So basically it allows you to keep small beads and parts in place while you're creating designs. This is going to be really popular, I imagine, because I know for a fact that when people first start jewellery making, because I went through it myself, even when you've got a beadboard, your gemstones go everywhere. You just, I don't know what it is. When I see you guys working there, you're working under pressure, you're on live TV, nothing really goes, you know, off at a tangent. But when I'm at home creating it goes everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like that as well.
All right, okay, that's made me feel better already. Yeah. So this is going to be very popular. In fact, this is your second bite of the cherry. It has been launched previously, and lots of people got hold of it. Oh, my apologies. This is your third or fourth bite of the cherry. We've had this on screen a few times. I don't know how I missed it either. I was just thinking that. We're always watching Jewellery Maker in my house, and I've never seen it. But anywho, okay, so we launched it earlier in the year, apparently. We brought it to air in February.
Really?
I've never seen it, so I missed out on one here. I missed a trick here. But I just think that maybe on the late show we haven't had the opportunity to bring it to you, because every time we bring it to air it sells out very quickly. It's one of those items that I think all jewellery makers are going to have a use for, certainly. And if you have a look on the back here, you can see the way that beadsmith are suggesting you use it as not just a bead mat but a bead tray as well. So that's the same design we have in our bead tray, isn't it? So yes, proven to be very, very popular, and people already flying in, both on the free phone number and adding this to their basket at jewellerymaker.com. So congratulations to everybody coming through. Maybe you, like Mark and I, have maybe not just missed out on the chance, but I didn't even know it existed. So I'm really being enlightened now, and I can definitely see the application for this, because you get obviously 2 sticky work surfaces. Going to stop your gemstones going flying around the room, and actually when you think about it, that's your profit margins that are flying around under the couch, isn't it? Because every gemstone you lose is potentially a little bit of money. And we've had a web comment from Sarah. It says, the sticky mat is wonderful. When I get a bead scoop, I tip them out onto it and the beads just stay in place. Everyone should have one.
Thank you.
Can't ask for a better commendation than that from Sarah. It's basically, Sarah, like I, has experienced the frustration of your gemstones rolling around on the floor. Well, that is a thing of the past, thanks to the sticky bead mat. This is a XL, so it is
I went into a certain store. I can say it because it's not what it is, but M&S.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't tell you who it was. And I bought a pair of ladies' stockings, specifically to put on the end of my Hoover nozzle. So hoover up after I've been jewellery making, so you don't suck up all the stones, it sticks to the...
That is genius.
Yeah, brilliant.
Another top tip. That's why we have our expert designers on the show. That's genius.
Yeah, so any husbands out there whose wives have got stockings or that sort of thing, it's perfect.
And they fancy dressing up on a Saturday night. Oh, no, we were talking about hoovering up gemstones. Yes. Do you know what? We'll use that trick, because if you look underneath
it's disgusting
that desk, it is full of gemstones and findings that have dropped down there.
Very untidy. I haven't been here for 2
reckon there's
weeks.
a bead scoop's worth of gemstones under that desk, at least.
Yeah.
$12.95. So probably one of the most innovative products that we've brought to air this year. Certainly, I didn't even know we'd brought it to air, but I can instantly see that all jewellery makers are going to need to have one of these.
That's a brilliant idea.
That is so fantastic, especially as they're saying, like, you know, it hasn't got a residue, it's not going to feel sticky on the gemstones, it's just something they've applied to make sure that your gemstones don't roll around. That is genius, basically. And coming from a very reputable tool manufacturer in Beadsmith, we've got a very close relationship. We source our items directly from Beadsmith. I think they're generally considered sort of the Rolls-Royce of crafting tools, and so if you're getting involved with that, you know you're buying a quality product. $12.95 for the sticky bead mat. People are flying in. In fact, most people are taking 2 of these, so maybe they just know people that are out and that are going to want one, or maybe they're thinking, I've got 4 or 5 different projects on the go. Get a couple. Nobody's stopping you. So $12.95. We're going to move on. Oh my word. We've only got 21 strands. To my money, it's going to be a sellout. Oh, especially when you see the price point. Mark, can you look away, please? Peach cultured pearls. It's quite a subtle, feminine peach tone. And these have only featured on the show once before today. We've only got 21 remaining. So, well, we had 21. We're now down to 17. We've already got 4 people putting this in their basket at jewellerymaker.com. And when you see the price point, you'll know why this is going to be a sellout opportunity tonight. Genuine cultured pearls for less than £10. $7.95. Now, pearls, I think, are one of the gemstones that we offer here at Jewellery Maker that really backs up what we say about the value that we can bring you. Even if you're looking at pearls that aren't set into jewellery designs, if you are trying to buy cultured pearls for jewellery making tasks, I have seen, through doing a little bit of research online, they're probably actually accurate price points to charge for pearls. It's just that we here at Jewellery Maker have incredible buying power. That's all thanks to you. So we try to pass that value on to our customers, and this quality of cultured pearls for $7.95 is something you just can't ignore. I mean, pearls, they're ever present, aren't they, within jewellery collections, and they offer so much really, because yes, they have a sort of vintage feel to them, timeless elegance really from pearls, But on top of that, they're very prominent in contemporary jewellery designs as well. I mean, it's interesting because it doesn't matter what age you are, you can always wear pearls. In fact, yesterday at the wedding, the favour to my little girl, who was a flowers girl, was a little pearl bracelet, and each of the bridesmaids got a pearl necklace. So there you go. And the mother of the bride was wearing pearls on the day as well. So many people getting involved. We only had 21. I'll do a quick count for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that leaves us with single figures of availability. We've got 8 strands remaining. Genuine cultured pearls, $7.95. And yes, we tend to value pearls on their roundness traditionally. However, for jewellery makers, things are a little bit different, aren't they? And so these slight irregularities in the size and the shape are actually probably going to feed into your designs and allow you not only to prove to your customers that you've managed to source the real deal and you're offering them genuine cultured pearls, but also provide you with a little bit of texture within the design itself, because those slight irregularities might just lead to, say, like a happy accident, if you like. $7.95, looks like it's going to be a sellout strand. We've got 4 remaining in stock, so if you want one, act now to avoid disappointment. Look at this. We've already seen one pretty intense strand of apatite this evening, and we've got another. Faceted rondells, and these have been classified as sea green. I'm not being funny, but I would switch the 2 colour classifications around for the ones we've seen. I would say this is sky blue and the other one is sea green. And I'm getting vindication from the gallery. Everyone's like, yeah, you're definitely right. They've got them wrong. Would you agree with that, Matt? Because this is more of a blue tone and the other one was more of a green tone.
Yeah, you're right.
You do get very slight green hues coming through in this apatite, but I think for the most part, this is more of a sort of sky blue. Great saturation of colour on the gemstones, though, I have to say. Almost getting a little bit closer to that neon blue, in fact, isn't it? Except here, you've got probably a colour tone that will go with more gemstones. And because it's been faceted and you get that little bit of sparkle, it's actually better that you've got more of those subtle sky blue tones coming through. And I'm just having a look to my right and I'm thinking in about 5 minutes time, if you intend to add midnight blue sapphires to your order, of course they're going to be launched at $6.95. Have a look at this. And then you can tell the little story again, because you've got the rough cut nuggets and you've got the faceted gemstones there as well. You like that combination, Matt? Can't go wrong really with navy blue and sky blue together, can you? Picked an easy one there to get right, haven't I? But have a look at this. How about the garnet? That's coming up in 20 minutes time as our superstar buy. Oh yes. Then, because you've got this rich saturation from the garnet, that very prominent purple hue, brings out more of the sort of electric blue tones from the sky, from the apatite. 45 carats in total here, but quite delicate sizes. They range from 3x1 to 4x2, and this is a 30 centimetre strand again. So once again, you're getting a lot of gemstones on this strand. Lots of designer scope with this particular strand. How many? Sorry. We've got fewer than 20 strands in stock. It does come from our Gems of Distinction range, and whenever we bring you our gemstones from that range, they tend to be of such high quality that people trust that and snap them up. In fact, I've got a buyer there who's just taken 2 strands, and lots of people flying in to put this in your basket. We started with fewer than 20. We've now got just 12 strands in stock. $12.95 is all you're going to pay to add this huge carat weight of apatite to your order. And don't forget, you've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if there's anybody at home who's thinking, oh, I'm not 100% sure it's called sea green, but he's talking about sky blues, get it home. See it for yourself. That's going to give you a much better understanding of how you can integrate this into your designs. This gemstone.
I was just going to give you another tip.
Yes, another tip. I'm all for it.
This sounds really bizarre, but it really does work.
Okay.
When you get your strands home, especially if you're buying more than one, to have a look at, to decide whether to send one back or not. Yes. Go out into the garden and hang them with clothes pegs. This is where the tassels come in handy, from your washing line. So on a summer's day, and go to all 4 points of the compass. So north, east, south, west. So you have the sun behind you looking at it. You're going to be in front with the sun coming from behind it, and both sides, and you can get exactly how the stone looks from all the angles. And then if you wanted to send one back, you can choose and have a pick. But hanging them outside,
is genius.
That's a really good thing if anyone is photographing their jewellery for websites.
Yes.
Is to hang earrings from washing lines, because you can Photoshop out the white strip, and you get all the lights coming from all the angles. So the washing line in the garden is brilliant.
That's genius. That's absolutely genius. I've never heard that tip before, but we talk all the time about, you know, the studio lighting not giving us a fair representation of what the gemstone is going to look like. That is the ultimate way to find out exactly what your gemstone is going to look like in daylight from all angles. That is fantastic. I'm having that.
You're going to have to, okay.
I'm going to start $12.95. Lots of people getting involved there, and it's now time for us to bring you that sapphire. It's star buy time. Okay, welcome back to Jewellery Maker. Time for our final star buy of the evening, because at 9:15 we're going to bring you our super star buy. Now, this is a kind of a new idea that we're trialling here on the Late Show. So we gave everybody the opportunity to own this last week, so that you'd already have the strand when Mark came on the show and offered us some design inspiration. So he's been working with this strand, and we'll show you the designs that Mark's come up with. But what we also did was we held back a little bit the stock, just in case people weren't able to watch on Thursday and you feel really inspired by what Mark does. That usually happens when somebody sees something Mark's made, they feel inspired. And so we did hold some of the stock back so that you could get involved. And it seems like either lots of you got hold of your strand and thought, this is amazing, I'm getting another one on Monday, or maybe we've won you over, because online at jewellerymaker.com you can already see the price point. We're talking about one of the big four here. Over 50 carats of sapphire. And, you know, this is a gemstone which, as an industry, we're not having that much success at current times in sourcing. It's not that we can't find sapphire, I will say, we can find sapphire. It's that the yield isn't significant enough to make it worthwhile for some jewellers. You know, a high street jeweller, for example, if they're coming up with a design, they have to have that in stock nationwide, don't they? And so they need a particular amount. Otherwise, you know how businesses work. If they can't create a high enough stock level, it's not going to work for them, what have you. So as an industry, starting to maybe have to compromise slightly on sapphires just because we can't find a high enough yield currently. And so potentially you could be investing in a gemstone here that the high street jewellers, or even some of the larger, more high-end jewellers, won't have the opportunity to give their customers in the coming 12 months. Again, we never really know what's going to happen. We don't know what Mother Nature's up to, do we, underground? But just, you know, based on current trends, we're struggling. The reason I know that is, as I said earlier on in the show, the owner of the company, real-life gem hunter, flies around all over the world visiting mine owners, and this is the information we're being given, that it's quite difficult at the moment to get hold of sapphires. Now, when people do think about sapphires, I think that people who are knowledgeable understand that corundum does come in a number of different colours, but when we think about sapphires, we think about these rich blue tones, don't we? Now, this is the gemstone of choice for Princess's engagement ring. I use that line quite a lot, but it is significant, you know, because obviously the only real reason people tend to put a diamond in an engagement ring is just off the back of a long-standing marketing campaign. It's not really traditional or anything. And yes, Princess Diana, of course, famously chose to have a blue sapphire rather than a diamond, and we got to see it again last year, didn't we? The engagement ring, famously. So, you know, it's one of those gemstones that does have that prestige attached to it. It has, you know, that I suppose, don't really like to use this word, but it has a bit of gravitas because it's one of the big four. I don't like that word because it's not romantic enough, Matt. That's what it
Gravitas.
is. Yeah,
Okay.
it just seems a bit like, you know, status driven rather than loving the gemstone. But sometimes that's what people are looking for when they're identifying popular jewellery designs that they want to invest in. You know, they're luxury items, aren't they? Pieces of jewellery. So, Mark, my producer's wondering, do you want us to come and see your design at the end of the show and we'll continue?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, you've already got one piece on there.
Yeah, I'm still.
But you're just working on something
Yeah,
else,
I'm nearly
okay,
finished my second piece.
Okay, yeah. Well, so my producer's saying you can have a little more time if you want.
Okay. Well, I've used all the gemstones now, so.
Oh, he's used all of the gemstones, so it's going to be pretty inspirational. Can I say, most people are buying this because they're already aware of the price point I have given you. So let's get it on screen. Under £10 for one of the big four, $6.95 for sapphires. Again, you know, this is the kind of price point that really allows us to flex our value muscles and prove what we're all about here at Jewellery Maker, and that's providing you with the best value on the market for genuine gemstones. And when I say that, I know that there are some websites that have similar looking gemstones and try to compete with us on price point. Did I tell you what happened to one of our customers? Told me on Facebook. They said they found a strand that we were doing. It looked identical, but it was £2 cheaper. She was like, I'm having it. I've done them. I've beat Jewellery Maker for value. When it arrived, Matt, it was a 2-inch strand.
No way.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, she did it to save herself £2. She was like, never again. Always showing me, he goes, 2 inches. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? Do you know what I mean? Be so upset when you, because you know, in the picture, because it had tassels on it, it looked like she must have thought, oh, it's the same supplier, but actually they were taking Mickey. That's the beauty of shopping from us here at Jewellery Maker. You know that it's our remit to provide you with the best value on the market. You know we're dedicated to that, and of course, because we source the gemstones directly, we can offer you these kind of ridiculous price points. I'll be honest, I never really thought we'd even have the opportunity to bring you sapphire, let alone at $6.95. Okay, we're going to leave that one with you because I think well over 50 strands have already been allocated. We only had 100 remaining in stock. And we're going to go over to Mark at the end of the show and get a little bit of inspiration. We just want to make sure that Mark's completed his designs and he's happy with everything he's done. And so the producer said we've got a lot to fit in. So we'll carry on and we'll go over to Mark at the end of the show. Don't forget, coming up in 10 minutes time now, the opportunity to add this gorgeous garnet to your collection. This is almost like rhodolite garnet or Nactimunda garnet, you know, one of those particular varieties that offer you those purple hues rather than the red tones. It's really, really intense with those variety of colour tones that come through. From certain angles you're going to get the red tones, from others you're going to get the sort of purple hues coming through. I think the best description really is almost like a red wine tone. So, you know what, that would be one to hang up on the washing line actually, Matt, because then you would see the reds and the
You'll
purples.
be amazed what you see from all those
I'm
different
definitely going to do that. It's a great idea. Good thinking. Okay, where are we getting on to, sorry? Yes, sorry. So we're looking again at essential findings really, and these are your crimp bead covers. So they're almost like little clam shells that you just close around the crimp bead. Now, when you crimp a crimp bead, when you flatten it, not only does it become a little bit uncomfortable, certainly on the neckline I'll say that's not the most comfortable feeling to have a bit of sharp metal, but not only that, but it oh, there you go, you see, get that stocking over the Hoover with me around. But also the other thing about it is it doesn't look particularly attractive, and when we're talking about, you know, upping our game and raising our standards for our crafting so that we can sell our designs or give them as gifts, it's all about the finish, as we've discussed. And these allow you to create a professional finish, and you don't really have to go to extra effort. Normally, when you want to create a really professional finish in a design, it's usually something very labour intensive that you've got to do to make sure it's very professional. These just crimp around the crimp bead And not only do they provide you with that comfortable finish, they look professional, but also you're incorporating more 925 sterling silver into your design as well, which could potentially help you to achieve those higher price points if you are selling your designs. If you're working with 925 sterling silver, it allows you to almost justify the price point you want to achieve. When we were talking earlier, Mark was saying, you know, you have to build in your time for your labour, and of course I personally think that you have to charge for your own creativity within the design. And so it's little items like this, that attention to detail, that allows you to justify the price point that you feel warrants the price you're going to charge for your piece of jewellery. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
925 sterling silver crimp bead covers, an essential item, and here another wholesale deal because you get 100 pieces. And here comes your Jewellery Maker price, just $8.95 for 100 of these. So we're talking about around about 9p for a sterling silver finding. Yeah, for sterling silver at 9p, that's kind of ridiculous, because, as I say, it could equate to, you know, an extra 2, 3, 4, even £5 on the price point you charge, and it's only cost you, say, 18p, if you like, to cover up the 2 crimps, but with 925 sterling silver. $8.95, lots of people taking advantage of that deal because they're an essential item. You know, if you've fallen in love with a gemstone strand today and you've got an order up and running, a wholesale deal on sterling silver findings, add it to your order. No extra P&P charge, $8.95. Now, oh wow, how many of these have we got? Oh, nowhere near enough to go around in my opinion. Fewer than 40 in stock. It's not too bad for the late show, but it's going to be a sellout. I'm 99.9% sure that this will not be available tomorrow morning. Smoky Quartz tends to be a very popular gemstone with jewellery makers, I suppose because it offers you so many different opportunities as a designer. Yes, it's going to work with any metal tone. It's going to work in the sort of earthier colour combinations that are very popular, but also it's the perfect substitute maybe to a jet black gemstone, if you like. So if you're traditionally trying to create maybe a monochrome design, but you think that that two-toned effect is a little intense, you can use Smoky Quartz in place of a black gemstone to tone that down a little bit. Like that idea, Mark? Is that a good idea?
That's nice.
Thank you. So these are quite interesting as well because they're really consistent in their colour tone. Not too much saturation of colour, so you've got quite a lot of clarity. The reason that's important on a strand like this is because have a look at the carving. They've been carved into, what would we say? I've got the perfect man here to tell me this. Is it a little rose, do you think?
Yeah, a little rose.
Yeah, a little rose, yeah. There we go then. And so, you know, we know that the sort of floral motifs are very, very popular in handmade jewellery. And these, again, are going to do most of the work for you. The Lapidarists has taken it upon themselves to provide you with all the inspiration you need, and the gemstone here is going to be doing a lot of the work for you. Beautifully carved. These are hand-carved gemstones, so again, very, very labour-intensive. But don't worry about the prices that we are able to achieve. That is all thanks to your loyal custom. That's given us that buying power. We're part of the Genuine Gemstone Company, so we work very, very closely with the mine owners, and of course the lapidarists that work for our company are very, very experienced. So we are able to achieve these looks and provide you with incredible value. 12 mil in size, so quite a significant size, but because of the carving, it's always going to make an impact on your designs. 290 carats here. They're already flying out the door. I knew it would be popular. Here comes your price point. $9.95. Just imagine what you could potentially pay elsewhere for a gemstone that has had this much time dedicated to the look that you've got here. Gorgeous carvings, and they really do look like little roses in bloom, don't they? I love them. You don't actually have to use them within a sort of floral design because depending on how you set them, they could just be used to provide texture within the design. You can see the amount of work that's gone into the gemstone itself. $9.95 for your flower beads here of Smoky Quartz. Beautiful carvings, going to bring so much, well, I think romance to your designs. Am I impressing you with my romantic edge tonight, man? That's just because when I was the manager, I used to be all angry.
You were a dinosaur when you were a producer.
Yeah.
Tyrannosaurus Rex, you were.
That's right. Saying I was a Tyrannosaurus Rex when I was a producer. I was shouty. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to come and have fun and bring you other deals and become a presenter. What did you just say? Look how long his arms are. Oh, but for a T-Rex, I should have gone like that. Got you. Where are we moving on to? They're all taking the mickey out of me today. Have a look at this. Another of the big four. We just brought you sapphires. And we're now bringing you emeralds. Now this comes from the beryl family. And, I'm going to get in trouble here, but I'm going to have to bring up the C word again. I'm just thinking, the Garnet that's going to be launched at under £10, reds and greens, stock up now for the Christmas period, why not? Oh, how about this for a combination? Do the blues and the greens work? They do. Sometimes I'm a bit dubious about blue and green together, but actually it does work.
Is it red? I can't remember the right.
Do you know what? Every single person seems to have a different version of this, because in my house it was green and blue, but every single person I speak to is like, oh, I thought it was red and blue.
Red and green should never be seen unless there's something in between. That's the rhyme I always knew.
There you go then. But actually, that's quite poignant really, that little extra line, because that means that anything will work together as long as you've got the right one to link it all together. That seems to be the right combination, the greens and blues and the reds. So if you've got hold of the sapphire, I can tell you that we're actually going to provide you with the same price point on the emerald. Let's do it. Under £10 for another of the big four tonight. $6.95 for emerald. Now this is Brazilian emerald. This is what we were talking about earlier, because we brought you a strand of Colombian emerald, probably the most sought after variety of emerald available on the planet. Although we did bring that to you at $44.95, which is rather ridiculous. But this is what I'm saying here at Jewellery Maker. We're dedicated to ensuring we have a variety of each and every gemstone for everybody's price bracket. And at $6.95, you can be working with one of the big four. Gorgeous emeralds, certainly one of my favourite gemstones. There's another one of those gemstones as well, which would lend itself quite nicely to masculine jewellery designs as well as feminine designs. Do you think, Matt? Emerald? I would wear emerald, definitely. Because it's quite, in fact, I'd probably be more inclined to wear Brazilian emerald than Colombian emerald, because you've got those sort of forest greens. They're a bit more...
Would you put them together?
The Colombian and the Brazilian? Yeah, why not? Yeah. But, I don't know. I don't know, actually. Only because if I bought that Colombian emerald, I'd want to say, oh, it's Colombian emerald. Yeah. So, but if you put this on, you have to make the distinction.
It isn't a bad thing.
Absolutely not. No, that's what, for $6.95, it's almost a no-brainer. Here we go. Now they're all at it. Liam's got some creative ideas now. So to make your Colombian emerald go further, so you make a cluster of the Brazilian emerald with a Colombian in the centre. As he's saying, get 2 strands of this. Yeah. You're going to make a necklace or a bracelet, and then you can use, say, like 5 Brazilian emeralds, 1 Colombian emerald, 5 Brazilian, 1 Colombian, so that you can make your Colombian emerald go further. Now we're starting to think like jewellery makers. All about value, about maximising on the potential of each and every gemstone strand. So that is good thinking. Well done, Liam. Nice one. $6.95 for genuine emerald. It has once again proved to be extremely popular. Okay, we're going to do one more before we bring you our superstar bite. Of course, we also have to go and catch up with Mark because he's been working with that sapphire. We said we'd provide you all with a bit of inspiration, and we will. Oh, I get to pick. Oh, fantastic. Okay, I'm going for 2. You've probably guessed. Yeah, Rutile Quartz and Very, very interesting finish to these. Very unique, actually. I haven't seen this very often. Basically what you've got is this sort of frosted finish on the back of the gemstone, and then you've got this very organic finish to the front of the gemstone. In fact, you know what? You could use these sort of in place of a cabochon in certain designs because they've got that flat back finish. Can you do that? Yeah. Yeah. So you could, in fact, this one actually has a bit of a domed effect going on. So it's almost like an organic cabochon. Mother Nature's created a cabochon for us there. I love this particular gemstone. There's a little bit of debate going on within the gemological world about whether it should be classified as black rutile quartz or whether it should be called tourmalated quartz. Basically, the CIA want to reserve the name rutile for the golden variety of rutile quartz. No, coloured gemstones institute. Coloured gemstone. Yeah, it is C. Trust me. Yeah, the GIA are involved as well. They're all part of it. They're all at it. They're all involved in this debate. Yeah, and so they basically. Oh, did I say the CIA? Sorry, the GIA. Yeah, I told you I had a late night last night. I told you I was at a wedding. What is wrong with me? CIA? Why would they be getting involved? The FBI want to know about it. Sorry, I'm not with it. But what I was going to say is they want to reserve the name for the golden variety because then you get those needle-like inclusions in the golden rutile quartz. So this inclusion here is tourmaline, and so they prefer to call it tourmalated quartz. But you know what? Really, it's all about the fact that this has to be one of the most organic looking gemstones you could find. I always describe the inclusions you get as they look like, to me, paintbrush strokes. So it's almost like Mother Nature has left her mark inside each and every gemstone. So they're all individual. Again, it allows you to create completely bespoke and unique piece of jewellery with each gemstone. The gemstone's going to do that for you. Okay, we've got to get the price on screen. It looks like it's going to be another sellout. It's $8.95. All of these are large enough to be used as pendants in my eyes, and you get such a gorgeous look from the gemstones. In fact, we don't see too many monochrome gemstones, do we? So there's a very intense feeling that you get from the black and white two-toned effect. $8.95 for your rough cut nuggets. And could that work? Could you mix the blues in with those? Oh, that works for me. I like it.
It's got a certain druzy aspect, doesn't it?
It has. It's the finish, isn't it? It's almost. It does. It's not actually crystal formations that are providing that. It's just the sort of almost the ripple or textured effect on the surface. It's just allowing the light to play.
If you had a thin black leather cord, it's perfect surfer jewellery.
Yes, absolutely. It's another very masculine gemstone, or unisex gemstone. Okay, we have to leave that one there because, as I say, we have got to do our superstar buy and see what Mark's done with the Sapphire. So let's do it. It's superstar buy time. Welcome back to Jewellery Maker. Time now for our superstar buy. This is the final shopportunity of each show, and it tends to be our most exclusive launch of the night. This is a premiere strand of Garnet, January's birthstone, of course, but I think Garnet is another one of those gemstones that's just very well recognised. Most people are aware of this gemstone and its popularity. I read somewhere that Garnet is the third most popular choice for engagement rings after diamonds and sapphires. So, could be that it actually is rising in prominence, Garnet. But for me, it's usually all about that intense red colour tone. Garnets are actually tend to be higher valued if they have those purple hues in them, and that is what you've got here in abundance. Now, It looks to me about a quarter of the stock's already been allocated at JewelleryMaker.com. We are very, very busy tonight. That's what happens when you put Mark Smith on your show. Everybody tunes in to watch. And I think we should just get the price point on screen because it's going to sell out otherwise and the phone buyers are going to miss out. Let's get it on screen. $9.95 for 45 carats of garnet, and just have a look at the clarity that you're getting on the gemstones. Not always easy to see in the studio, as I say, but not many inclusions there. Yeah, the colour tone is the only thing you get drawn into. It has been faceted on the surface, so you get that traditional sort of sparkle that I think most people are looking for with gemstones. And actually, Mark's been providing us with a little bit of inspiration of how to potentially use top drill drops, moving away from the traditional three gemstone set, so your earrings and your pendant, and trying to integrate them into different disciplines. Do they need to be rounded for that to work?
No,
or could you set these
absolutely, exactly the same way.
Fantastic. So these are flying out the door. We had around about 100 strands in stock. We've got fewer than 50 remaining already. We've only had it on screen for about 1 or 2 minutes. $9.95. And even though I know I'm going to get in trouble, I have to say, these are jewellery quality gemstones. Some of our customers don't like that. They say they're all jewellery quality gemstones because I make jewellery out of it. But you know the distinction I'm making between, obviously, say like your jaspers, for example, which are much denser, more readily available, and then garnet of this quality that's been faceted, that offers you this colour saturation, and quite large carat weights here, I would think. Probably
they're
2 or
really
3
deep,
carats.
aren't they?
That's it. That's exactly right. They've got a nice bit of depth to the gemstone. Yes. So, in fact, let's just count them for a second. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, giving you 45 carats. So, essentially about 2 carats on average per gemstone. Well over half the stock has now been allocated, so if you do want to add this to your order, it is our superstar buy opportunity. 45 carats of faceted, top drilled drops of garnet for $9.95. Lots of people coming through taking 2 or even 3 strands of this. Well done to Jean and Fiona, you're both in 5. You've got 2 heading your way. Durate, Nicola, June, Sue, Michelle, all of you have got 2 strands. That's the way to do it here at Jewellery Maker. Stock up and make the most of these wholesale opportunities. I'm going to move over because on Thursday we gave everybody the opportunity to maybe get hold of this sapphire, and we promised you some inspiration from the chips and nuggets expert that is Mark. And actually, another 100 strands of sapphire were allocated tonight. So let's have a look at the way Mark used this shutter, and actually, combination.
It works, doesn't it?
Works brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
The sapphire and the garnet together would be absolutely gorgeous. The sapphire is still available. We've got a few left in stock if you want to add that to your order. That was $6.95 for the rough cut nuggets of sapphire. Ridiculous. So where did you start with this?
I'm a massive fan of Chartreuse wire, and I never get the chance to use it very often, especially on the day shows. And it just works so well with sapphire. Not a combination that you would readily think of, but it works so well. That dark royal blue and the lime green, it's just beautiful. Yeah. So all I've done, I've made a tassel comprising of 7 rosary links in each, and then I've got used some thicker gauge wire to make a plaited torque.
Getting a little bit of movement.
Yeah, there's a little tassel from the front.
That's gorgeous because it really draws the eye in as well, doesn't it? And it almost, I imagine, it's going to sit perfectly on, you know, like the drop, the plunging neckline. That's the word I'm looking for. That's it. So they're very popular look, aren't they, in summer dresses? That's what I was thinking. The décolletage. I love that word. He's
I think I was told it means sideboard.
Sideboard, is that right?
Yeah, décolletage is sideboard.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Every day's a school day, particularly here on Jewellery Maker. I love this combination.
That's a straightforward square knot, but using 0.6. So 0.6 wire will go through those nuggets as well.
Right. That's great. So that's a good, useful piece of information there. Yeah. The 0.6 wire will go through. Can I just say, look how fantastic That macrame technique, it always gives you a professional finish. I love it. I love anything that was that. That's why I love chainmail.
Yeah.
It always looks professional no matter what you do.
That's right, that's right.
Absolutely beautiful. I love those sort of copper tones with the intensity of the blues.
So I mean, a lot of the viewers have got all sorts of colours of wire at home. Just experiment and see which wire works with which colour.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing to consider as jewellery makers. Don't play it safe.
No.
Take yourself out of your comfort zone, experiment, and I think people tend to find out more about themselves as jewellery makers when they're working with things that they're not comfortable with.
Yeah. And
otherwise it's just habitual, isn't it?
Especially if you're selling jewellery, make things for things that you don't like as well, because someone is going to like it.
Everybody's got different tastes,
right.
haven't they? That's the key thing to consider as jewellery designers. And even if you don't intend to sell your jewellery designs and you're just making for yourself, you might actually find that something you make when you're experimenting ends up being your favourite piece of jewellery.
That's right, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
If you want to get hold of the garnet, there is still some garnet available. It's $9.95. Very, very high quality. And you'd expect this to be set, I would say, into, say, 9 carat gold at least.
You definitely see those purple tones from here, without a doubt.
It's gorgeous,
really
isn't it?
rich.
What kind of thing would you do with this gemstone?
Relay wrap earrings.
Really?
Groups of 5. Each chandelier, shoulder dustery type earrings.
Oh, nice.
It'd be beautiful.
So
I'm not sure which
piece.
wire to use though. Whether gold, which would work, silver, copper.
It would all work with this.
I mean, antique bronze. Imagine how rich.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because that'd bring out some of the more fiery hues that are coming through there, the purples. Oh, you can definitely see it here. Actually, do you know what? Your desk is, I think,
much
lit
better than
ours. We're the ones holding the gemstones.
We'll have to swap, I think.
Yeah, should we move? Remember when you used to like move your room around when you were a kid? And it's like, oh yeah, all excited. Should we do that? Yeah. We'll speak to production manager Jones about that.
Yeah.
$9.95 is all you're going to pay for the garnet, and you can also add the sapphire to your order. You'll find that online for just $6.95. We brought that to you about half an hour ago, so there's still 30 minutes left online to add that to your basket. And of course, if you dial the free phone number, you'll come through to our award-winning help team, and they will add any of these items onto your order if you wish. That is going to bring the show to a conclusion. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Enough time for me to give you my personal thanks, Mark, because it's so much easier for me, you know, feeling my way through the gemstones if I've got somebody as talented as you giving us hints and tips. And yes, don't forget to go and get your stockings so you can hoover up all your gemstones. We're going to leave it there for this evening. So thank you very much for joining us. Stay tuned right now for some designer inspiration. Thanks.
Showing how gemstones come from the earth and how they look in their natural habitat almost, then this could be the strand for you. If you're looking at adding texture to your pieces, but although these are textured, because of course they are nuggets, they have got that smoothness to them. These aren't going to be catching on your clothes, they're not going to be irritating the skin. They have just this beautiful